conversation today. I think this one's gonna be a fun one. What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Press Box. I'm here with Bama, Random, and Riddell. Obviously, there'll be some others who will join us shortly throughout the show. With that being said, let's go ahead and we want to shout out our members here at Players Choice. If you want to be a member at Players Choice, y'all already know the vibes. All the information you need is in the description below. And shout out Cobra Son of Raditz, still sturdy as that GOAT member. Make sure you elevate yourselves to being GOAT members. I think that is very important.
Avion, I know where to find you too, bro. I know where to find you, Avion.
Yeah, Avion Plumber, where you at, man? Comatose, where y'all at? I need y'all back at that GOAT member. So we need more GOAT members back here at Players Choice. Now, fellas, big week in football. First Black Friday game at the end of the year. Not only the Black Friday game, Thursday night football on Thanksgiving, and then obviously we got Sunday. So we got a lot of football this weekend, which I'm excited about. But first things first, let's talk about the Eagles. Obviously, we saw what happened Monday night football game, but after the Eagles win against the Kansas City Chiefs, Jalen Hurts took a commanding lead of the MVP right now. He's the odds-on favorite to win MVP. And there's been a lot of deflectors. Some people calling Jalen Hurts overrated, as you see some of the comments in the chat. What are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts in the Eagles? And do you think he right now is the MVP of the league?
So I'll say this, because I was one of those people, you know what I'm saying, all these great takes that I just be spitting all the time, right? Jalen Hurts was my MVP. Even though, people were hyping up like certain people like Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown and stuff. The only reason why I always was like it's Jalen Hurts' MVP, especially they keep winning, because it's a quarterback award at the end of the day. We know it is what it is. There's really nothing else. And there's no quarterbacks right now that's like separating themselves. And we know Mahomes has MVP quarterback fatigue. But even them with their record, he shouldn't be the MVP favorite. So the Eagles have the best record. Sure, the Eagles are not going crazy. Jalen Hurts is not having a crazy season, but they're winning games. Hurts is clutch consistently where they're coming back from behind and winning games. Jalen Hurts is the engine of that offense. He's making AJ Brown look fantastic this season with some of his throws. So, with that said, Jalen Hurts is for sure the MVP, and it's all about confidence, Nick. Come on, step your game up. You know what I'm saying? But Jalen Hurts is for sure the MVP, and I think as of right now, I can't see anybody else competing besides potentially, depending on how everything kind of pans out, Lamar Jackson. But yeah, I got Jalen Hurts.
I also agree, Riddell. It's Jalen Hurts right now. He has a very compelling case. I think he would have won the MVP last year if he doesn't get hurt. So, and like Riddell said, Mahomes is getting is going to get MVP fatigue because they just don't want to give those out. And right now, in order for him to win this time, he has to be so dominant. Mahomes has to be so dominant that they have no choice. And right now, we know that he's having problems with his receivers. The only thing is Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is his greatest challenge. If he keeps getting 150 a game, and I don't know how you're going to look at Tyreek Hill at the end of the season if he does have 2K, like you said, J-Rob, and give the MVP to Jalen Hurts if he has 2K. I know he didn't. I know you're going to say, oh, Miami didn't beat any maybe any winning teams or blah, blah, blah.
He'll have their history, though. He'll pull off some history.
But I'll say this. I also saw Adam Schefter, I think was one of the big NFL reporters said this. An anonymous GM said, would you rather play the Dolphins without Tyreek or would you rather play it without Tua? And then the next thing he said is like, I'm not disparaging Tua, but I'll take Tua all day over Tyreek Hill. And I'm like, that's crazy. That is crazy. So I think Tyreek Hill is Jalen Hurts' greatest challenger right now. Lamar Jackson does maybe have something to say. Always CJ Stroud if he keeps playing because that's also making history is great. But if Tyreek Hill is giving you 150 a game and he's sitting there with two bands on his as a record, and then you give it to Jalen Hurts, I'm like, all right then, bro, just then make another award and make the MVP a quarterback award and just fully commit to it.
I mean,
That's what you're gonna
offensive
do.
player of the year exists, so Tyreek Hill
Yeah,
can win
but
that.
they still say the MVP is the most valuable player. Even Michael Parsons on his show said, "Give it to the best player. It doesn't matter what position you play." And the MVP award is basically a quarterback award at this point. So if Tyreek Hill achieves history and he still can't get it, that's it.
But in the terms of this season, Jalen Hurts is the most valuable player in the MVP. They call upon him time after time. He delivers any type of way. He might not have the numbers that everybody want him to have, but it's football. You're not just going to be able to go out there and pass for 500 yards like it's Madden. But when they do call upon Jalen Hurts, he answers, bro. And if it wasn't for a bullshit injury last year, he should have won MVP last year. He played damn near perfect in the Super Bowl. Say what you want, but he continued that play over to this year because after that past year, people had new scouts. He's starting to see new defenses and they adapt. And if you see they're the best team in the NFC, hands down, they won their little Super Bowl rematch, even though that don't mean too much to me, but I felt like that was just them exercising their demons. But essentially, we already saw what the Dolphins look like without Tyreek Hill. They lost. It was a close game, but they still lost. So he had 150, but I mean, it still had no value to it because what was we still saying even after they lost that game? Oh, imagine if they had Tua. We want to see what they look like with Tua in this game again. So it's like them two go hand in hand. You can't just be like, oh, well, what they look like without Tyreek Hill. Because I mean, Chris Roberts. You
can say Mahomes cleared, but Hurts literally didn't play the last 4 games of the season. So of course he cleared him when the guy didn't play the last 4 games. Going into the final stretch of the season, Hurts was going to be the MVP. He was leading MVP odds. He had the best story. Philadelphia was dominant, and then he got hurt. That's the main reason Mahomes got that MVP was Hurts getting hurt.
I think
Mahomes still balled though.
He still balled, but it was Hurts' MVP to lose.
I personally as well am on the side that Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the year so far. If I had to pick tomorrow, I know the numbers may not be gaudy to some people, and that might be their issue with it. If you just look at his passing touchdowns, not his rushing ones as well. I think this idea that the tush push, he's a merchant of the tush push, not fair to him. He executes it better than anybody else in the league. Everybody else in the league has the same opportunity to run the tush push. It is not only a move that is available just to the Eagles, so it's not exclusive to him. So I think if something everybody can do it, go cry about it to the league office. You need that out the league, so don't push that on Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts this year is on pace to go for 4,200 passing yards, 25 touchdown passes, 586 rushing yards, and 15 rushing touchdowns. That is a combined total of what, gentlemen? It's 40 touchdowns. So if he has over 40 total yards, 40 touchdowns, over 4,700 yards of total offense going at the end of the year, I don't know how those numbers don't tell you those aren't MVP-like numbers. If you ask me, I think any numbers like that will get you an MVP. Now, if we look at the Tyreek Hill situation, the 2,000 definitely sways the opinions of the voters, because I will also agree with Bama and with Random. The most valuable player on the Miami Dolphins is 1,000% Tyreek Hill, because you just can't game plan Tyreek Hill. He can break the game in multiple different ways, and the Dolphins will always and forever be a better team with him. I do think with a backup or a serviceable quarterback, the Dolphins can still find ways to win the game as long as Tyreek Hill is within that offense. Now, if he goes for 2,000 yards, which is something that has not been done before, it is almost the equivalent to me as Russell Westbrook's triple-double MVP year. He hadn't seen it done, and God knows. And because of that, and obviously his impact on his team's winning, it was hard not to go with history and value to not pick him. So if Tyreek Hill goes for 2,000 yards this season, it'll really be hard for me to be a voter. And I don't think they co-MVPs, so I think it might lean Tyreek Hill because of the history making, but they also can just give Tyreek Hill Offensive Player of the Year and call it a day. So
for me, like, I hear what y'all are saying.
And the MVP is a quarterback award, fellas. And for those who say that winning doesn't matter, the reason why Jalen Hurts has a commanding lead of the MVP right now is because the game matters on that win-loss column?
Yeah, so for me, I hear what y'all saying about this history thing. I personally don't think it matters as much. Like I see the history, but I don't really care if they're not really winning, right? At the end of the day, if the Dolphins go, let's say 10 wins, give or take, and the Eagles finish with only 2 losses, which was like what would it be 15, 16 wins.
15 wins.
There's a huge gap between the Eagles' success and the Dolphins' success.
Mhm.
2, my thing is, like J-Rob said, even if you want to argue the winning is a quarterback award or not, I don't really care. What we do know is quarterback is the most important position on the football team.
Right.
Bar none. It is what it is. It's the most important position on the team. It leads the team. And even though Tyreek Hill is the MVP for the Dolphins, Jalen Hurts is the MVP for the Eagles. And the Eagles are the best team in the league, actually, have the best record in the league, and there's a gap. History can only make up so much, especially.
Well, it depends on what it depends, though. It depends because if the Dolphins are the second seed, finish second, or win the AFC East, then he'd still have a case. I understand what your point about, having just 2 losses, but I push back because if you're going to be a first seed in the AFC East, that means at some point that season you finally got over the hump of the Bills. Hopefully they get one more statement win before the season ends. And you can't gloss over history, bro, because this is not just any type of history. We've never seen it in the history of our game. And because it's something we've never seen in the history of our game, the problem is it's the voters. As a voter, you'll be torn because you'll look at the record, right? Let's say they go 15-2. Jalen Hurts has close to those projected yards that I've said earlier. You'll be in a tough situation, but I think if you're the Dolphins, number 1 in your division, going to have a top 3 seed in the AFC, you still have just as much, I think, of an impact on winning if you're a top 3 seed in your respective conference. So it'll be hard to gloss over history if you're a voter, especially 2,000 yards for a dependent position. Like, it's crazy because it's a dependent position, bro. It's really hard.
That's one reason why he wouldn't win it, because it's too dependent. Like again, we already saw the Dolphins. We already saw the Dolphins with just Tyreek, and they lost in the playoffs. Like, they already lost.
It's tough.
Bam, I actually think that's 50-50 because, Jalen Hurts should probably be the leader of the MVP, but I feel like this MVP season is like this MVP struggle. Like, it's not as big. No one's having as big as a year as the past few years. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is having a better year than Mahomes was last year, or who won it the year before that?
Aaron Rodgers. The gap is still there because we know that when it comes to the MVP, like what Bam was saying.
Yeah, it's a quarterback league, but if someone's doing something for the first time in history,
I'm not saying it's really. I'm not saying it really good,
winning. It just
but
doesn't.
in this regard of it though, like even when Patrick Mahomes have them gaudy numbers too, bro, that you cannot look and see. Like, those teams, bro, they are the most valuable players.
I agree.
And the fact that they are driving winning teams on top of being the team's most valuable.
I agree.
The engine of the team, bro. So it's like you can't deny, right. Even if they don't have these crazy numbers, you have to look at the success. Even though they say winning isn't a quarterback sport, bro. You're not just going to go out there and put up the success these dudes putting up with Zach Wilson up under the circumstances. You can't go out there and plug a Zach Wilson or Jimmy Garoppolo in those dudes' situation and pull out the games that they pulling. You see what I'm saying? These dudes got the respective 2 top teams in both divisions. So
I got Jalen Hurts, but I'm saying if Tyreek for the rest of the season goes 150 a game and a touchdown averages a touchdown and a half,
if Jalen keep answering though, answering with the winning part though, again, he's the
also like I said, I have Jalen.
If they continue to win in the fashion of which they're winning, you could just literally turn on the TV and see, man, this is solely on. Of course, they got weapons. Don't get me wrong. They got Smitty. They got
the same reason why CJ Stroud got thrusted into the spotlight, bro. He affects winning for the Houston Texans. He just
and J-Rob, you actually brought out a stat about how clutch Jalen Hurts has been.
Oh yeah, I'm with
Jalen Hurts is I'm with Jalen Hurts.
I'm just saying that you got to understand that I'm not saying I think Tyreek Hill is going to win it. I'm just saying if I was a voter, maybe the voter would have, feel more inclined because Tyreek Hill did something that's never been done before. But I'm with you, man. I'm with you and Riddell. I personally don't think it's going to happen. Actually, like I'm more on the side of Jalen Hurts is winning this thing because I also value your proximity to winning as well. Because
especially if he goes 3-0 or 4 or like 3-1 these next 3-4 weeks, because it's the Bills, the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Seahawks. If he runs through all them in a dominant fashion, I don't care what he does the rest of the season.
And I don't care about how the wins, and I personally don't care how the wins look, bro. You know, all this whole idea that every win got to be a dominant win. The fact that the Eagles, to me, have still, to me, not played a dominant game on every single level, and they are what their record is, what it is. To me, that to me is more than enough that this is a great team. I've seen enough because you've played all your hard opponents. You found yourself in the W column. So that is a dominant team led by a dominant quarterback who I believe does not get enough credit for what he's done for this Eagles team. I actually think quite the opposite of how I feel about Brock Purdy is how I feel about Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts can lose in A.J. Brown and still make that thing go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Brock Purdy can lose an Ayuk or lose a Debo or lose a Trent and be dynamic enough to make that thing happen. That's why I came up here and spoke about Jalen Hurts being the most clutch quarterback in the league by far this season. So, you know, if you find yourself in the fourth quarter, Jalen Hurts has dominated in that aspect of this game all year long. When you need him to deliver, he's delivered. And that is the testament of a great quarterback. So,
and it's not like Tyreek Hill is not getting rewarded for his efforts. He is 100% still getting an award for Offensive Player of the Year.
Facts.
So he will be recognized, and he's going to be first team All-Pro. So he's going to be recognized for his efforts. He's going to be recognized as the best receiver production-wise at the very least this season. He's going to get an award for it. I'm sure that comes with more money too. But at the end of the day, everything we said kind of stands, and you could say it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how the NFL is.
I say just change the award name. Just make the MVP the best quarterback, and then best offensive player. Because like if MVP is supposed to be the quarterback every single year, then just make it a quarterback award. Don't
like I said, if you look at
make it seem like other people have a chance.
To the chat, if you go look at Jalen Hurts' fourth quarter stats for the year, then we could talk. Then come talk to me because that more than explains.
Oh my god, I can't
look at his fourth
quarter.
Didn't
look expressive against the Chiefs.
He can't even spell it, bro. But we're supposed to take his.
Seriously. Impressive, but
this American education system got me
so mad. The Eagles haven't really looked that impressive versus multiple teams this year, but
they keep winning.
You said expressive. Now you read it.
Don't matter, bro.
Yeah, they look expressive. They look like robots out there.
Bro, install Grammarly onto your computer, bro. Install Grammarly. I'll help you.
All right.
Zay, what do you
one sentence and he figured that out.
What do you think? Who do you think is the MVP of the league, and what do you think?
I mean, I really want Lamar Jackson to get it. I really do, bro. Because I mean, I'm just so tired.
He'll have a chance to.
Jalen Hurts that dog, bro, and he win games like Lamar Jackson. He win games too. You know what I'm saying? I like that, man. And I kind of want a defensive player to get it. You know what I'm saying? I want something different. You feel me? But I know
Myles Garrett.
If Tyreek get it, Brock Browns better get it in college. That's what I know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to bring that up. I'm just saying, like, because Tyreek, oh no, bro, he nasty, bro. Nobody can stop, bro. I mean, who stopped him, bro? But,
nobody.
The Chiefs.
But the Chiefs did well.
The Chiefs stopped the offense.
At least he's honest this time. He's not just saying
they didn't stop him.
Snead or whatever he says. At least he's being honest. Said the Chiefs stopped him, not one single player.
Don't be mad, my boy.
Yeah, the Chiefs stopped Tyreek Hill. That's a team effort, not one corner. That's a team effort.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like I said, man, Jalen Hurts, y'all right. I mean, he been winning. You know, I like winning, bro. So I mean, he been winning, like you said, 4 quarter stats and all that. He winning. I mean, he got the team to do it too, bro. He got to win the Super Bowl too, bro. He got to get that too, at least.
Yeah, they got to get there.
It's gonna be tough with the 49ers, though. I would say.
Oh yeah, 49ers too, man. Yeah, they good too. Like I said, man, I really want Lamar to win it. You know what I'm saying? But I see what Jalen Hurts doing and Tyreek Hill and all that. But like I said, man, they should change to a quarterback award, bro, because that's basically what it is, bro.
But at the same time,
I mean, it's like the Heisman though. The Heisman Trophy has become a quarterback award.
It's a quarterback award too, bro.
But the quarterback position is we can't be in denial. The quarterback position is the most important position.
We agree. But the problem is the MVP award is supposed to go to the maybe whatever you decide, whatever most valuable is. And if most valuable is quarterback, then make another award and say this is the best quarterback award. Then make
just
the MVP
just for this
year.
Just
become more valuable, like Adrian Peterson did. That's what you just got.
That's
to.
what Tyreek Hill is literally doing.
I'm more with Riddell. I'm with Riddell. You gotta just show that. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. You gotta be. Listen, I know it's not fair, but I'm with Riddell.
I understand. And I'm just
you
saying
gotta go out there and be
otherworldly,
right bro. Listen, Adrian Peterson came off the ACL and went for 2K. Like
it's just
otherworldly, bro.
Tyreek Hill is gonna go for 2K and he's not gonna get it.
Tyreek Hill needs to be the first player on his team.
Even with the
for the Vikings, the first seed, I forget.
The reason for
they
the
were a wild card team.
The Dolphins is the RPO
so what are you talking
pass
about?
happy. The Dolphins is the RPO pass happy offense. Then if we look at what offenses is going anyway, where it's just pass happy anyway, flag football where you can barely hit people. So it's like them 2,000 yards of receiver, bro. It went once upon a time when them boys really could be physical. It went from like 20 receivers having 1,000 yards, or not even 20. It was like 11 or 10 having.
You're right, bro.
Bro, now it's like 20, 30. Even tight ends have 1,000 yards in the season, bro. So
also,
it's
you're
like
making
that
it seem like
2,000
Tyreek Hill is catching
12
balls a
not
game.
really. The 2,000 not really moving.
Bama, you're making it seem like Bama. You're making it seem like Tyreek Hill is catching 10 balls a game, bro. Bro is getting 150 on 5 catches.
If you look at this though, with a running back, all the quarterback doing is just turning around and handing that junk off. Like, you don't have to rely on no hole and no defense. You don't have to rely on no quarterback putting it right here. You ain't got to rely on
the O-line making gaps, like stuff like that. Like,
I mean, sometimes, but when a running back in his groove, you damn near don't even have to block for him, just getting away a little bit, like for real. Because the first rule of being a running back, BYOB, be your own block. And if you tell me Adrian Peterson wasn't his own block, a lot of players you lying.
I agree.
2,000 yards. He was his own block. So yeah, don't get me wrong. The O-line does do a job in this grand scheme of it. But when them running backs, that Adrian Peterson, Chris Johnson, them dudes we see on them 2,000, bro. Come on, bro. Like,
hey, Bama, was Adrian Peterson the last one?
Yo, we got a super chat from Trent.
Henry.
Bro, did Bama say 2,000 receiving yards is not moving him?
That's what he just said.
But
it's definitely gonna move me.
In today's
game, never happened before. It's never
happened.
Yeah, and it's going to happen more frequently in today's game. Cooper Kupp,
but it hasn't happened once yet. That's
who had 1,900?
And he didn't get it. He didn't get it. He didn't get 2,000.
Chris Justin
Jefferson was like 18 something, bro. It's gonna happen.
That's still not 2,000.
It's gonna happen more frequent than what we thinking, bro. It's on the verge of it, bro. Just where football is headed, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
heavy.
Also, I see what Bama is saying, because when it comes down to it, whether you agree with it or not, the fact is some of that credit will be taken away from Tyreek Hill due to Tua. Even if you say Tyreek Hill is the best player on his team, Tua
I don't disagree.
the one throwing to him. So stuff is going to be taken away from him compared to Adrian Peterson. Is just you hand the ball off, you make it work, right? So I see what Bama is saying. I mean, it's still impressive, but at the same time, I'm kind of with Bama at the. Like, I get it, it's a milestone, but we've seen a lot of receivers that kind of touch pretty close. Just because you hit like, I don't know, 100 more.
If you're saying like
automatically mean
Riddell, you and Bam are basically saying that like the receivers, they have like an extra step because like they need to receive the ball and stuff like that. You can, if you want to be nasty, you can flip that. The quarterback does need the O-line to like hold the defense. They need the receivers to catch the ball.
Everybody needs the O-line.
Exactly. So I'm saying like you're just saying, receivers need an extra step. Technically, quarterback needs an extra step too. So
okay, then the receiver needs 2 steps, the O-line and the quarterback. So your point is null and void.
O-line and the receiver for the quarterback. So that's what I'm saying. It's mute.
Are we devaluing? Basically, so you're saying you're devaluing Tyreek Hill's 2,000 yards win? I think Tyreek Hill would be a monster in any era.
What are you?
Tyreek Hill is about to? He's getting 150 a game, averaging over 130 something a game. That's ridiculous.
It's
good.
In the offense that he's in, it's like an RPO offense, bro, where a lot of them play. a lot of the plays, bro, he gonna catch them just manipulating. He's manipulating to where it's like, oh shit, they thought it was a run. Wow, we got to pass.
Let's not pretend like Tyreek Hill didn't just catch the ball and then run across through a defense and score a touchdown.
We're throwing schemes into that. Then take some. I'm throwing schemes into it now, and like let's take away some of Joe Montana and Tom Brady and we're talking about schemes.
Y'all underlooking it, bro. Y'all underlooking because you got to talk about schemes with receivers, bro. Because now it's a scheme to where they focus on because it's a quarterback-driven league, so they got to figure out how to make it look like the quarterback is everything now. So all of these schemes you're gonna see is gonna be predicated by passing the ball. So you mean to tell me a position that relies solely on the guy passing him the ball, bro, is going to win an MVP when the dude that is at quarterback is solely the reason why they win in the games?
You're making it seem like the scheme is the reason why there's so much success.
But this is one of those cases
where
the receiver
on a reason for 2K.
Bama. This is one of the cases where the receiver is so much better than the quarterback. I can disavow that. Tyreek Hill is so much better as a receiver than Tua is as a quarterback.
Let Trent ask his question.
Bama, you are the same person who glazed Cooper Kupp's triple crown when he went for 1950. You say he should have won MVP, and now you're saying if Tyreek Hill gets 2K, he shouldn't win it. You know how ass backwards that sounds.
No, because
and you want to talk about schemes? Are we serious, bro?
Because who won it? Pat Mahomes won it, right?
No, Aaron Rodgers won it.
Aaron Rodgers won it.
That last year? Oh yeah, that's just because Aaron Rodgers was not balling how Jalen Hurts was though. Jalen Hurts.
What?
No, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. No, you're a liar.
What?
You're a liar. You're a liar.
What?
You're a liar.
He threw 4 picks that year the entire season. He went 36-4. What are you talking about?
He always
You
You
think Jalen Hurts? Wait, you think Jalen Hurts is playing the same level as Aaron Rodgers? You're glazed.
Yes.
You have the glaze disease.
Yes.
You have the glaze disease. You had the fear on glaze
I
disease.
ain't gonna lie. Bama, come on, Bama, come on.
What?
No. Again, if
Aaron Rodgers, the year he threw, bro, the year he went,
36-4.
Come on.
What?
I'm not gonna let y'all get away with this.
Let us get away with it. We're not gonna let you get away with it.
Bama, you gotta stop. Bama, you gotta stop.
Yeah, Bama.
That Aaron Rodgers here was crazy, bro. That Rodgers here.
Aaron Rodgers hate.
It's just like he always do that. Who else do that? Who else throwing 36-4?
Definitely.
Well, a lot of people.
I could definitely say
definitely ain't Kirk Cousins.
I'm not even trying to harp on Aaron Rodgers part.
Why are we trying to disrespect Kirk?
The point is that you said that Cooper Kupp should have won MVP when he went for 1950. There's about to be a receiver who, and never in this game, you can talk about the physicality and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. There's never been a receiver that's ever went for 2,000 yards. If he breaks 2,000 yards, the MVP should be at his crib at the front door.
I just don't agree. Because honestly,
I think they'll care about the winning part of that, Trent, unfortunately.
Also, like, let's be honest, because I get the milestone part.
I do think the problem is you gotta do I just think the problem with the award is the quarterback gets so much. They get.
You want him to get 2,500?
You want him to get 2,500? Is this Madden?
I'm with you though. Before you came up, I said as a voter though, it'll be really hard for me to go against something that's never been done before.
Yeah,
I said it'll be very split. I'll be very split as a voter, especially if the Dolphins have the first seed. That's what I said. The Dolphins have the finish first in the division.
7-3, I believe.
Have a top 3 seed. It'll be very hard for me not to say the Dolphins.
What's their record right now?
7-3, I believe.
If they finish bro, I just think 7-3. If they have a winning record like a 12-5, 11, if they get to that, get like 10, 11 wins,
they're gonna
and
win
he
the
gets
division.
2K, the MVP is at his crib.
Guys, they play the Commanders, the Titans, the Jets, the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Bills.
I don't even think Jalen Hurts is more MVP than Myles Garrett.
Tyreek Hill is averaging 122 yards a game right now. If he stays on his average,
because of what Jalen Hurts has to do, how Jalen Hurts manipulates the game late. That's my only thing.
Myles Garrett is on pace to break the sack record.
I agree with that too.
The number one defense in the
That's
league.
what I was about to say.
That's what I was about to say. Playing and Deshaun Watson is not. I think Myles Garrett is more of an MVP case than Jalen Hurts right now.
So that's to say Jalen Hurts will be.
I know that, but I don't think voters will think his impact is the same as what Jalen does.
JJ Watt year though.
So I agree. He's definitely winning defensive player.
Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett.
Because he just want to make sure that Tua gets some love. That's all he's trying to do right now.
So my thing,
I'm not gonna lie. Myles Garrett is really. I'm not gonna say he's but he is a driving factor, bro, behind it.
Yeah,
he's changed games.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
The Browns team is driven by Myles
Man.
Garrett.
Dog.
My biggest thing, and I want to make this distinction very clear. The only reason why I'm pushing so hard against Tyreek Hill is purely because of the fact that Cooper Kupp didn't win MVP. After I seen that, I'm like, there's never.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. 2,000 yards. I know you don't want to hear this though. 2,000 yards.
Cooper Kupp had
is a little-
1950. That is
Yo.
50
Wait,
receiving
wait,
yards.
Riddell,
That is
Riddell.
50.
Wait, Riddell,
You don't got the dudes, bro. It's a
Riddell.
difference.
Receiving yards.
Riddell,
It's a
did he
difference.
get
A
2K,
milestone
yes or
is
no?
not moving.
How many
me.
guys? Hold
Riddell.
on. Riddell, how many guys have had triple crowns in their? How many wide receivers have hit a triple crown before?
Has any of them had 1,900?
Let me
receiving
finish. How many guys in the NFL had a triple crown? 4, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
like 4, something like that.
How many wide receivers in the league have had 2,000 yards?
Let's
Zero,
now let's
bro.
add. Oh no,
Nobody.
because I don't care about the milestones. I'm
And you
putting
don't care
context
about
How do you
behind
not care
No, you
about the
can't care about
milestone?
it.
How-
Yeah,
no,
bro.
no, no,
I think you,
Stop.
bro. In the game that
How
in this
many-
game
how
that we
many-
love to talk about.
How many?
Yeah,
No.
man.
Let's put more context behind it. How many receivers had a triple crown with 1,900 receiving yards?
Bro, that's not my point, bro.
That is no. You're
That's
trying to
not
make
my
a
point. My point
milestone.
is,
That is
at
a
the end of the day, he
milestone.
had 1,950 yards, which is cool. It's not 2,000. That makes a difference.
50 receiving
It
yards.
doesn't
No,
matter.
the
It doesn't
milestone
matter. We can't speak
matters.
in hypotheticals.
Not as not that.
Yes,
not
it
that.
does.
What I'm saying, listen,
Okay,
listen.
So 4
It
minutes
matters.
out, when
It
somebody ran
matters.
for 4
No, it
11,
matters. You
and
know why
it's
it
like
matters,
back in
Riddell?
4 minutes,
First
it
of all,
mattered.
Riddell,
It just
the reason why
mattered.
it matters too, Riddell, the reason why it matters is because the fact is, last year, even though Cooper Kupp was going for a triple crown, we wasn't really talking about him being an MVP to the magnitude we are talking about Tyreek Hill winning MVP because he's about to do
I
something.
don't know why
that's
not.
never been seen before.
And also, and went to the fact
Well-
that J-Rob also,
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill has a chance to hit in 2K without even 17 games. Not even with the extra game. He can hit it in 16. Like
But
how like
Cooper
he
Kupp-
gets
Cooper
way
Kupp
more
does
than-
matter.
I'm
I'm not saying it don't matter. It does matter, but
the fact that you
Go ahead.
saying you don't care about him getting 2K, nobody has ever done it. I honestly, we've seen receivers get 1,900 yards, aka Calvin Johnson.
And a triple crown.
Huh?
1,900 and a triple crown.
2,000 yards is more important than the triple crown.
Hold on. Random.
What?
Oh,
We've
my
seen
God.
receivers get a triple crown,
No,
and
y'all
we've
are-
seen
y'all are-
receivers get 1,900 yards. We've never seen a receiver get 2K. You can't.
Have
just-
we
you
seen
can't
a
just-
receiver get 1,900
Bro,
yards? and a
again,
triple crown?
Here's the point,
Yeah,
Riddell.
oh my
This is the
God,
point.
bro.
No.
We've seen receivers get triple crowns, and we've seen receivers get 1,900 yards.
Right.
That's the point. We've
Right.
never seen a player get 2,000 yards ever in this game as a wide receiver. Never. You've never
Never.
seen it before.
They've gotten close, but they haven't done it. It's not the same
Not
thing.
close, but you've never,
Yes,
2,000
yes.
yards is more impressive than a triple
Okay.
crown. To me,
So-
It is.
okay,
To me personally,
genuine
to me
Genuine
personally,
question.
more
Genuine
impressive
question.
than
Genuine question. And I'm just gonna move on because I don't understand.
Oh, let me get you. You just don't agree, right? You just don't
You're
agree.
giving out like a participation trophy.
No,
They got close. They didn't do it. They
don't
didn't do it.
do it.
So, in your opinion, who do you think overall is having a better season, Tyreek Hill or Cooper Kupp season? I don't care about the milestone. I'm talking about what they've done, everything in totality.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh, you would need. Oh, y'all. Are
Why
lying.
but wait, time out. Why does that matter right now? Wait, why?
I personally say
Because
Tyreek
he,
Hill.
that's how you would grade it because Cooper Kupp
Reek-
bugged
Reek
out
got
in
1,000
all
yards
phases of
in 8
being a
games. Why
receiver.
say Reek?
He went crazy in all phases of being a receiver.
Reek got 1,000
Won the
yards in
Super
8
Bowl. He
games.
capped it off with a Super Bowl.
That has
Not
nothing
the
to do with
superbial. No.
That has nothing to do with the
Sports-
MVP or the regular season.
But still though, bro, he literally had one as besides Jerry Rice, bro. He had the statistically best season for a receiver and still did not win the Super Bowl. Y'all just talking about 2,000 yards and he's not even having the.
And
best
I agree with the chat.
season.
It's a weaker MVP year this year. It's a weaker MVP year.
Emma, you're
But you
saying this?
understand he might hit 2K before season and still have a game left, bro.
Exactly. So he can
He
either
might
get
hit
21.
2,000. He potentially may have
But-
two games left
I
and hit
give-
2,000.
so y'all say so regardless, even y'all still say he having a better season than Cooper.
He hit
If
1,000
he
yards.
hit 2,000 yards in 15 games,
Okay, when did
If
Cooper
you
Kupp
left,
hit it? 9?
that's more impressive than Cooper Kupp triple crown. If you go
Actually,
for-
I don't know.
And also,
That's
let's
more
and also,
Wow.
J-Rob,
And less
also-
reception.
if it
Less
takes you
reception
15
too.
games to go to 2,000 yards,
How's
in
that
10 games,
impressive?
that's way
Way
more.
less
We're saying
reception.
this-
How's that
Hey,
impressive?
hold on,
That's not
Monty,
an
J-Rob, watch
automatic
this.
impressive thing.
J-Rob,
That's not
we're
impressive
saying
feat.
this right
That's
now.
a no
Like
feat.
literally, right? Look, wait,
2,000.
Wait, hold on. Reek is leading the league in touchdowns. He's leading the league in receiving, and he's second in receptions. So y'all saying all this triple crown shit, he might get the triple crown with 2K.
If he does, then I'll give it to you.
I was gonna say if he finishes like Cooper Kupp in 1950.
The reason why I don't even be tripping about the triple crown, though, I'm gonna tell you why I'm triple crown. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not tripping about the triple crown, because the context to the triple crown, bro, sometimes just be a matter of receptions. That's a matter of screen passes, and he played the slot in the entire of the season. He was going to have a lot of receptions, bro. I'm not losing my mind over triple crown because Sterling Sharp had an elite year. Now you missed out on triple crown. So did Calvin Johnson. But you're missing out on receptions, bro. It's also, I think it does matter if a receiver's playing the X versus playing that Y position in a slot all game. You're going to see more targets. So at the end of the day, I think with Cooper, if Tyreek Hill, even if he goes first in yards, first in touchdowns, second in receptions, he gonna go for 2,200 yards in receiving. Yeah, let's just say he hit 2,000. He hit 2,000 before game 16, game 17. Bro, that's more
and way less receptions. Way less receptions.
Because J-Rob, like what you just said, bro, he's literally second in receptions. Like, who cares? If he finishes, he has 1,200 yards or 1,222, and it's week 11.
Trent, add this. He's doing it in way less receptions.
Those people in the chat who are saying he has an extra game.
Cooper Kupp had an extra game, didn't he?
Cooper Kupp had an extra game, but also Tyreek Hill is on pace to finish before that game that y'all say is the extra game.
So that's why
I'm keeping the same entry. If Tyreek ends with 1950, then don't give him the MVP.
Exactly.
If he has like similar stats to Cooper Kupp, but if he goes beyond Cooper Kupp.
The milestone is weird.
And to do it with less catches is honestly harder.
J-Rob, way less catches.
How are we going to have an MVP conversation but not talk about milestones? What are we doing?
No, real quick before you go. I want to be clear. Before you brought up everything with Tyreek Hill in terms of leading in touchdowns and second receptions, that when you brought that up, that's a better conversation than discounting everything that Cooper Kupp did entirely. So if Tyreek Hill is doing what he's doing with the receiving touchdowns, obviously he's going to get the receiving yards.
But you're lying, though.
Second or third receptions, I don't care. If he's one of those, I don't care. Then I think that's a more valuable argument.
Nobody discounted what he did. But what we said was that what he did at that time, we've seen it before. Voters see it before. No, we haven't.
We just haven't.
You've never seen a triple crown before.
We've never seen a 1900
You haven't seen a triple crown before.
1900 yard
crown. You're putting a crown. That's what it is. 1900 yard tag on it, bro. You're putting a 1900 tag on it. The voters do not put that on. They see a triple crown. A triple crown has been done more than once in the league. A 2,000-yard season has not been done. It has not been done.
1900-yard triple crown.
On top of that, I'm looking at the stats right now. He is 4 receptions away from the league leader in receptions. So Riddell, he might do something that really ain't never been done.
He can go for that triple crown,
2,000. But going for 2,000 in less than
J-Rob, the triple crown has been done 16 times.
Bro, it's going to be, but Lonnie, but even the fact of the matter is, understand
you're picking
the triple crown is not going to be more impressive than a receiver going for 2,000 yards, because if it was, we wouldn't be having this same conversation. The conversation about Tyreek Hill winning MVP is because he's on pace to go for 2 bands before the season's end. And that's not only an anomaly, it sounds flat out ridiculous.
And also, it would be the same energy. It would be the same.
You'd have a case. You'd have a case, Riddell, if he was the first person to ever get a triple crown. It's been done 16 times.
It would be the same. It would be the same. Hold on. It would be the same energy towards Myles Garrett. Say Tyreek Hill gets like 1,900, and the Browns keep winning, and Myles Garrett breaks the sack record. That's a huge milestone. You might have to give him the MVP because we haven't seen that. In how long? Like, bro, there's certain milestones when you hit, you got to get the MVP, especially when the team is.
How many people have done? No. My thing is, I am recognizing the milestone and its impact, but we're talking about MVP. You don't automatically get MVP just because you broke the milestone. And let's be very clear: Cooper Kupp's season with the triple crown, he was second all time in receiving yards total.
So let's not act like it's a normal just triple crown.
No,
I
we're
hate
not.
when y'all doing that. It's not a
We're
normal
not doing
crown.
that. You're just disregarding it. You're just disregarding it.
We're not. The thing is, we're not disregarding your point. We're not.
Yes, you keep on comparing it to
No,
other
you're not. We just don't.
You're saying number two. You're saying number two, not number one.
Receiver season of all time.
Okay. I understand.
Up until Tyreek Hill, maybe this year.
I understand. Nobody's disregarding your point, but we're telling you that the voters are going to, if they're going to compare to Cooper Kupp, they're going to look at Cooper Kupp's year and they're going to compare it to other Triple Crown seasons. I'm not saying that it wasn't impressive. I'm not saying that him having 1,950 yards was something to gloss over. But at the end of the day, when the voters look at making a case for a wide receiver, a position that voters look at as a dependent position already, they're going to look at the resumes and they're going to say, well, we've seen Triple Crowns by this guy. We saw Calvin Johnson go for 1964. We didn't give him an MVP. When you look at Tyreek Hill, he's done something that people never even thought was fathomable by a wide receiver. And even through that, Riddell, we're still conceding, even doing that may still not be enough to win him the MVP anyway. But that to me is going to get more of a nod for a wide receiver to win the MVP because it has never been done in the game. And I understand the 1,900-yard Triple Crown has never been done. But the problem is that 1,900-yard Triple Crown will forever be attached to fucking Triple Crown. Excuse my language.
Trent, let me say this.
That's the flaw there for.
Trent, let me say this real quick. At this point in the season, in 2021,
that's all I'm saying. Because I'm thinking about how they vote for this thing, bro.
Riddell, at this point in the season,
people don't add context. I agree, J-Rob.
Yeah, at this point in the season, Riddell, Cooper Kupp had 116 receptions, 141 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill literally is at 79 receptions, 122 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He's literally doing it on 40 less
yards. What are you talking about?
My bad, 1,222 yards. Tyreek Hill is literally performing.
Was that what?
At Cooper Kupp at week 10 of 2021 had 116 receptions, 1,141 yards, and 10 touchdowns. At this point, in the exact same point in the season right now, Tyreek Hill is at 79 receptions, 1,222 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He's doing it in literally 40 less receptions and has 1 less touchdown. What Tyreek Hill is doing is more impressive.
I said he could have
bringing Triple Crown. You brought the Triple Crown, so receptions matter.
Yeah, he's more receptions behind the leader.
You're picking and choosing. You're saying like, receptions don't matter, but you just talked about down the whole time.
Yet you don't want to.
Random keeps on bringing up receptions.
You brought up Triple Crown. Receptions is one of the things for the Triple Crown.
One mic. Go Trent and go over there. We'll have to Trent.
And the last thing I would say for the people in the chat talking about Kupp had a better season, I'm saying is that most likely, if Reed gets 2K, his receptions and his TDs are literally going to be.
Jose, turn that TV down, bro.
It's literally going to be top 2 or top 3 or even top 1. So again, the receptions and TDs, it's not moving me to somebody who's breaking a milestone that's never been broken before. So if Reed gets like second in catches, first in yards, and first in TDs, I'm still taking that over a Triple Crown. Over a Triple Crown ain't got 2K yards.
And Riddell, before you go, I just want to add one thing to you, just so you can understand my perspective a little bit more. I personally believe for a skill position to win the MVP in the NFL, I think it's really hard because we've seen other running backs go for 2,000 yards and not get MVPs outside of the Adrian Peterson situation. We saw, like I said, Calvin Johnson single-handedly break that record for the most, and he almost had a Triple Crown. I think he missed it by the receptions number. So I just feel like when it comes to skill position players, I think they curve is not on the same curve. They're not on the same curve as a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I think because of that, that's why I feel like with what Cooper Kupp did, he was ultimately always going to be plagued by that Triple Crown title. But if he would have went for that 2,000 and they would have said, oh my God, he went for the Triple Crown, which only been done 16 times or whatever, but no receiver did the 2K, I think he would have won MVP that year. I'm not going to front you. I think he wins it that year because the problem with skill positions is the favoritism to the quarterback. Like I think the reason why Adrian Peterson won was not only because he went for 2K.
Yeah, too.
I think the narrative too.
The ACL.
The ACL. And Christian Ponder was their quarterback. So I think they looked at the situation he was in, the way he literally carried them on his back, and then he went for 2,000. I think his narrative was good enough. And that's my thing when it comes to like skill positions, getting those awards. I don't think it's fair. I really don't.
Real quick. Also, just one quick to add on top of that, wasn't he like 9 yards away from breaking the all-time record?
Yeah.
And he chose to go to the playoffs instead of breaking the record.
That's impressive. This is my final response. Response to Lonnie's thing, and then response to everybody else. So, because based on how y'all were making it sound, it's like, okay, only 2,000 yards was enough. But Trent, the added context for me was with the touchdowns and the receptions. Okay, then he might have a season on par. He might have a season on par with Cooper Kupp or better, and then add additional the record. Then I'm with you. Because I wasn't only set on the 2,000 yard. Because I think Cooper Kupp arguably has the greatest wide receiver season of all time. But if Tyreek Hill does better than that, if Tyreek Hill does better than that in totality and gets the record and they win enough games, then I'm with you. Then I think he deserves it more than Cooper Kupp did that season. So
that's what I'm saying. If he has less or equal yards, or like a little bit more yard, like 10 more yards than Cooper Kupp, then yeah, don't give it to him, because like the scale of like Cooper Kupp's value last year, and if it's equal, then yeah, he doesn't deserve to win. But if he not only matches but exceeds Cooper Kupp's year from last year, then yeah, I say give it to him. You have to.
And I'll tip it over there. If he goes for nine, if it ends the year with 1,999 yards, no dice.
I think Cooper Kupp should have won it. So if Tyreek Hill does something similar to Cooper Kupp this year, I honestly think with Tyreek Hill should win it. The only reason why I'm saying Jalen Hurts is going to win it is I don't think he will, which is like the point.
I'm not going to lie. Wait, did y'all already talk about the Jalen Hurts MVP? You already talked about that?
Yeah, we talked about it quite a bit.
I have Jalen Hurts winning.
One last thing. I'm going to respond. The point I was making, Lonnie, when it comes down to it, because Random was saying, oh, he did this in less receptions. I was saying that point is irrelevant. Not that receptions aren't irrelevant. So there's a two different things in this conversation.
I got you.
40 less receptions is crazy, but it's irrelevant. It's all right.
Receptions matter too. But
if you're doing it in less too, though,
he's literally doing it in 40 less by this point in the season.
Okay,
40
receptions matter.
Yes, they do matter.
Tyreek Hill is a better.
He's achieving the same production in 40 less receptions. What do you want? Why am I going to punish Tyreek Hill for that? He's doing 40 less.
I never said to punish Tyreek Hill. I'm saying you don't need a glazed Tyreek Hill to point just because he's doing it means he's doing better.
I would agree. If you're able to do the exact same job with
because those 40 receptions
with less volume, it's more impressive.
J-Rod, what's the next topic?
It's more impressive. I don't know what to tell you.
We finally really moving on to these Steelers, because what I really want to talk about too is with the firing of Matt Canada. I do want to hear from my Pittsburgh Steelers fans. We having hella Steelers fans in the chat that be glazing them, and I want to find out from y'all. Even though Mike Tomlin finally made a decision to fire Matt Canada, you can start it off, Bama.
I just got one question.
Do you believe in Kenny Pickett?
I just got one question.
Go ahead.
I know we fired Matt Canada and all, bro, but it's ironic, bro, because that dot he drew up to lose the game. Nigga, shut the fuck up and let me say what I gotta say. Damn, I'll beat your ass. With the dot Matt Canada drew up at the end of the game with Deontay Johnson wide open, bro. Could you really say that was just on Matt Canada? Because I said this earlier in the beginning of the season, bro. They pay these offensive coordinators a lot of money for their playbooks, bro. And sometimes, bro, you just got a quarterback that just can't run.
Yo, thank you.
Kenny Pickett might be like, bro.
Yo, he might be a scapegoat.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. He is a bum, bro.
Yo, he's gone.
K-Rob is a Jets fan right now, bro. You cannot tell me they're not drawing up plays for this man to be successful. And he goes out there and just
that's what I'm saying. Everybody want to blame Nathaniel Hackett. I'm like, bro, there's no way he's not drawing anything to get Garrett Wilson open. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Once again, go ahead, Zay. My bad.
I'm about to say, ask George Pickett is Pickett trash. Ask George Pickett. Ask him.
Yo,
Ask him. Have y'all seen how he be looking? Do y'all see how George Pickens be looking, bro?
Yo, he be hot, bro. He be hot, bro.
You can hear the NBA YoungBoy music in the background when he look at that nigga.
This is clearly a case where two things can be true. Bama, Matt Canada was trash when Ben Roethlisberger was there. Okay, mind you, when they're chanting "Fire you," I'll keep saying it to the high heavens. When they're chanting "Fire Matt Canada" and Philadelphia Phillies, at baseball playoff games, you have a problem with your organization. This isn't just something that we recognize. The entire state of Philadelphia rebelled against this man.
Hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. Wait, can I ask y'all a real question? For
Kenny
real,
Pickett's
on my life. On my life. On my soul. Be honest with me right now. Be honest with me right now. I'm gonna think of a decent young quarterback. If Brock Purdy is on the Steelers team running the Matt Canada offense, do you or do you not believe the Steelers offense will look a little bit better than what they're getting out of?
Yes, and we still say
come on, bro.
Canada.
No, I don't think so, bro.
Yes,
I don't really think so, bro. Kenny Pickett, they can't run play action, bro. He can't run, bro. They can't get in the gun with him. Like, bro, he's just not very good. Like, I get it. For example, Nathaniel Hackett. I'm glad Bama brought this up. Listen, I'm glad that Bama brought it up because I've been very quiet about it just because I don't want my Jets fans in the chat to get mad at me. But, for example, Nathaniel Hackett, they say that he's a merchant of Aaron Rodgers or whatever. Now, you can say that because Aaron Rodgers flourished, but some of the best seasons Aaron Rodgers ever had was under Nathaniel Hackett. And I think Nathaniel Hackett's system was easy for Aaron Rodgers to run and got the most out of that system and those concepts. Then we get to Zach Wilson, and we look like we don't know offense. And the only reason I feel this way is because I really know how to watch football and say I can see it. I know they in cover 4. I know they in cover 3. That's man. I know they about to bring a corner blitz. I see what's going on from an X and O standpoint. So when I'm watching Garrett Wilson running in route on his side of the field or in the boundary, and he's wide open, and Zach can't just go from 1 to 2 because he's more afraid about taking a hit and having to make a throw than anything else. Bro, I can't just look at it as all Nathaniel Hackett, bro. I don't think it's Nathaniel Hackett, bro.
We're not saying it's all Matt Canada. We're saying it's both. But guys, Matt Canada was so bad at his job. The Steelers have not fired a coach since World War II. He was so bad at his job, the Steelers have not fired a coach in the season since 1941.
You right.
Random, can we be honest?
Bad he was at his job.
Random, we gotta be honest about Kyle Pickett, though. We all know what it was when he got drafted. No, when he got drafted, he went to Pittsburgh. They share the same facility. He was there for 4 years.
I'm not saying
like throughout all the time he was in Pittsburgh.
I'm not saying people out here acting like I'm saying give Kenny Pickett the extension. Nah, get him out of there too.
No, he shouldn't have been drafted in the first place. If he didn't go to Pittsburgh, they wouldn't have took him. No, we all know that. If he didn't go to Pittsburgh, they wouldn't have took him.
That class wasn't that good. J-Rob will tell you himself that quarterback class was not that good. But even if they
both need to be replaced. But I'm just saying
they both need to be replaced.
First off, Bama, you are not bringing on one play because if you're an offensive coordinator, that's your job. You need to draw at least one play. I'm sorry, I understand you on that point, bro. If you're talking about one play of his whole coaching career, that's terrible. Now, 2 things can be true. It is once I saw when Matt Canada hugged dude in the locker room after they won, and one of their players said it's not because of you. Yeah, bro, you're out of there. You're gone.
That was the kicker. The kicker was talking to you.
Also, Kenny Pickett is terrible.
Yep.
So, he's garbage. And J-Rob, you brought Nathaniel Hackett. They had his best.
No, listen, I understand we had Devontae, Aaron Jones. We had nice players on that squad. All I'm saying
Bakhtiari
is
and that line was nasty too.
My question is this: do these offenses look this incompetent? My only question is: do these offensive coordinators getting NFL offensive coordinating jobs and are this bad? That's my question. Are they this bad? Or
Matt Canada is that
quarterbacks? Yeah, Trent, you
that's my question.
Finna get off the hook, bro. You know these coaches is intelligent, bro. Like you
Yeah,
know
but
these
You
niggas
be around
know
them,
the
Trent.
game
You
on
really
a
be
whole
around
different
them.
level.
Literally be
You
around
know
them.
they know the game on a whole different level.
Come on, bro.
it's different. They know they
we were
when you talk to
asking.
them, they know they stuff. It's
Like,
kind
I
of
could say it's on Matt Canada for
I think
not
it's
realizing
Canada.
that Jalen Warren is a dog.
Oh, let me ask you this though. I got a question then for both of y'all.
I can understand that.
Riddell, pause.
Jalen and J-Rob, let me ask y'all a question then.
Pause.
Because I agree, it's on
Had
both.
to spit
I'm
some
probably
guy
agreeing with both sides,
on
but
my
let
guy.
me ask you this though.
Oh,
What's
damn.
the
Pause.
What's the percentage?
It's not just
J-Rob and Benham, what's the percentage of Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada? Is it like 80-20, 50-50? Like where?
I
Where
say 60-40.
I'm gonna say
60-40?
I'm saying 60-40, and I'm leaning more. I'm leaning
55-45.
more. I'll probably go 60-40, and I'll probably lean more on Matt Canada. But
Just 'cause
40% of that
You
is
know what
Kenny
this sounds
Pickett.
like, bro? You know
He
what this
do be
sounds like?
missing wide open
This
throws.
literally
Bro.
sounds
Come
like
on, bro.
this literally sounds like the Desmond Ritter Arthur Smith talk. This is literally what it sounds like.
And the
I
thing
think
to me about
Desmond Ritter
Yeah.
ain't that very good either, bro.
I think it's
That's what it
I
sounds
think
like.
it's worse.
Hey, don't bring him up. Don't bring him up.
Listen,
Do not bring
listen.
him up.
Trent, again, this is what I keep saying. Like, I understand that some of these OCs don't be that good. But if I find it hard pressed for you to be an NFL offensive coordinator and you can't dial a play to beat man, you can't dial a play up to beat quarters, you can't dial a play up to beat cover two. And what I personally feel like, it's not that they can't dial up plays to beat these concepts, because there is a coverage beater. There's an offensive play to beat every coverage. There is. Whether people want to hear that or not, whether you want to hear that or not, there is a coverage to beat everything. And sometimes in man coverage is the way to beat man is to give it to your best player. But there is a way to beat all coverages. And sometimes I think what the issue is that some of these young quarterbacks, i.e. Kenny Pickett, i.e. Desmond Ritter, they can't read through a shell.
Yep.
When the play actually starts and a defense finally gets into a coverage, because look, what people got to remember, they may show too high, but it ain't too high. And I don't think the problem is, I don't think these quarterbacks post-snap progression is very good. Zach Wilson, a terrible quarterback post-snap. When a DB shifts and it goes to one high or it goes to too high, he can't process it fast enough to change that. I don't think Kenny Pickett has shown the capacity to do that at a high level, and neither has Desmond Ritter. And look, you can say that these OCs don't put enough on these players' palates for them to consume, and you could blame the coaching. But bro, there's only so much coaching you can tell a player, and it doesn't click, because at some point you begin to overcoach a player, and you still need these players to be able to go out there and play free. Think about it like this. I'll give you an example. Justin Fields, he complained about feeling like he was being a bit overcoached because he had to read too many things. Eberflus and them, they dialed it back, made this a little bit more simple. He's playing more free, and look how he's been ever since he's been able to start in these games. Now, obviously, they haven't won, but he's shown a significant increase in his ability to play quarterback in this game. I feel like some guys, I think that's why I say it could be 60-40, because I think some of these quarterbacks not doing their OCs no favors, bro. I really do feel that way. Like CJ Stroud, he doing his OC a lot of favors.
Yep.
He doing his OC a lot of favors because he can get through a progression. He can throw 3 interceptions in a game and not be rattled, and where you got to dial back your play calling and things like that. He can go from read 1, 2 to 3. And I think the quarterback factors a lot to some of these offensive coordinators. Like, I know a lot of people don't like Brian Johnson, but when you have a Jalen Hurts who gets you on that win column at the end of the week, not everybody can call for your job.
Yeah,
that's to piggyback on that, if I say something, I love what you guys do, by the way.
What up, Michael? My bad. Welcome to the show, bro.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. When it comes to Pickett, like, I just think he has some like tools, like he can throw one-on-one balls and all that. But like in the zone, like when you're talking about leading like players, like he's so awful at that. Like let alone the progression thing. Like if there's a zone and he's trying to pick it in between a spot, in between 2 defenders, he can't do it. And to me, it's like you could sit there and you can blame Canada, which is part of the problem 100%. But I think they got to move on from Pickett too, because like he just doesn't have it. He doesn't have the mental fortitude to go in there and make plays when it matters to me. And then I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched every Steelers game because I haven't. But the Jaguars game to me was a massive example of that. They're in that game the entire game. And
Michael,
he can't
can I
make
ask
one
you a
play.
question, Michael? Let's ask you a question. This is a question that's been the topic of conversation. You may have seen it. We've talked about Mike Tomlin and his coaching. Should have Mike Tomlin at some point during his tenure just been okay with having a tank season? I know he gets a lot of credit for being always having a winning season or always going above 500. But do you think he should have tanked at least one season? Because I think settling for Kenny Pickett at the bottom of the draft really set them back a little bit.
Which draft class
he's
was
not.
that?
I want to say was this 20? This is 2021 because this was post COVID. This is after 20.
But J-Rod, you good.
Yeah, Michael.
Thank you. I mean, if you really want to look at it like in today's game, it's about having a talented passer back there that can get you out of situations. And if you don't want to tank for a top 5 pick at least one time, then you're kind of taking yourself out of that conversation. Now, you can always get like a player in the back end of the draft like a Lamar Jackson, but like how many do of those guys come? Like not many. So I think I think that's just who he is as a coach. I don't think that he will ever tank. You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe that's him.
Hopefully they can nail it in the draft this year.
Facts. Go ahead, Zay.
I was about to say, Kenny Pickett probably won't even be there if Dwayne RIP to him if he didn't die. You know what I'm saying? Because remember he went over there for a fresh start, and like we said, you remember over in Washington he really get the opportunity. So
I think Dwayne could have played in the pros, bro, at a high level. 100%.
Yeah, because he was 24 at the time. You know, he had. And he throw the long ball and all that. So we probably be talking about Dwayne Haskins right now. But he end up, dying and stuff. But
so
that's what I'm talking about.
Can I want to make one more point because Michael brought up a point about quarterbacks, and I want to get to the super chats and then we get to the next topic. I think now we're at a time where your quarterback, like I understand that, people feel like you can have a serviceable quarterback, but I just think the way the quarterback position is getting so talented at this point, if you can't find a quarterback that you think can be an eraser for you, then I don't know if you have a good enough chance to go out there and compete for a championship. Because what I mean by eraser is there will be the reason why you can get out of a jam just because of what they do. And it doesn't mean like they got to just be able to run, but they got to be able to improvise when the moment needs to be improvised. Be able to make a legitimate audible call when it matters most of what they see because they so dialed in. I think all of that stuff matters. And I think if you have a quarterback that needs to be spoon-fed, i.e. Jimmy G type of guy, I don't know if that's going to ever really get it done for you because I do think you have to be able to play above your means in the necessary moments in order to succeed. Like for me, I'm very much high on the Jets drafting Jaden Daniels in the first round of the draft this year because I think what he's able to do with his escapability, his legs, and his arm talent, I think that is a prototype that thrives in today's game. It does, and you need it. Especially, we don't know what our offensive line situation will be in the future. I think he's a perfect guy to study under a Aaron Rodgers and find his way. But let's move on to some of these. Okay, Michael, this is from you right here. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, 15 touchdowns.
And you guys can ask me whatever you want. I think I want to come in here and I think like on messages it looks a lot worse. Like I obviously did not take
your take already. Respect it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. No. I'm not gonna sit here and take it back. Like I'm not about that. But what I am saying to you guys is this: like when we look at that game on Monday, okay, did Jalen Hurts? I give him 100% credit for staying in that game. Like as a quarterback, I think when you're doing bad in a game and you can still sit there and make the plays that matters at the end of the game, that's big. When we look at certain quarterbacks that have like a good ability. Some of them, when they have terrible games, like they're not in it. But I will say this is that without that team as a collective, they're not in that game on Monday. And the game is not in the rain. To me, I think they get not blown out, but I don't think that they're in that game because to me, you were able to kind of all the deficiencies that the Eagles have on defense, right, with the secondary, that was kind of taken away because of the rain. And I don't want to sit here and like make excuses because Jalen Hurts gets the credit from my point of view for that. But when we look at him, besides that catch to Devontae Smith, he had like 68 yards and a pick. That was a bad game. It was just a straight up bad game. Yeah. And I think sometimes we have to look and say, yeah, he made the play that won you the game. But did he play well enough to win the game if that team isn't as good? No, he just didn't. And I think the past years, like last season too, how many times has Jalen Hurts gone real pressure on him? And I know every quarterback struggles with pressure. But when we're holding Jalen Hurts to the standard of, he's a top 3 quarterback and he's going to put you in positions to win every game, you got to be able to handle pressure. And he did not handle pressure well last game. And I think that also has to do with Spags being able to, hide certain coverage and disguise coverages so he doesn't know what's coming before the play's called. But I still believe that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback right now. I do. But I don't think that he is the certified MVP. If he goes out in the next 4 games and balls out, I'm giving him the MVP 100%. I don't think it's solidified right now. That was like my main point.
Yeah, so I do want to respond real quick. So I'm also one of those guys that's really never been like, I think Jalen Hurts is this mind-blowing guy, but I respect what Jalen Hurts has been doing. But the reason why I don't think the take has value for right now is because we've said it so many times. Other than Mahomes, who's really that guy? Like, if we're being legitimate, because a lot of these quarterbacks haven't shown to be that guy, and it might be, if we're being completely honest, the only one that's looking like he might have that on. Like, I like Joe Burrow, but obviously he's injured and all that stuff. But that it might be looking like CJ Stroud, because I'm be honest, I'm seeing what CJ Stroud is doing, and he's looking composed in a lot of these times and a lot of these situations. But even if we don't want to go that far, we're talking purely right now. Yes, I think Jalen Hurts has a really good roster and a really good team, but at the same time, I don't see the hesitancy to keep him out of certain conversations if the rest of the pool of quarterbacks haven't separated themselves either. So my question for you, Michael, do you really think there's other quarterbacks in the NFL that's really just created a separation from Hurts and what we've seen?
No, I don't, because of exactly what you said. But that whole conversation, when I donated and said that, we were talking about Tyreek Hill versus Jalen Hurts. And I 100% agree with you guys in the sense of quarterback's most valuable position on the field. But when I look at what Tyreek Hill's doing, we can the numbers are what's putting him in the conversation for MVP 100%. But let's say Tyreek Hill has a goose egg game, right? The Dolphins are not winning that game. They're not even in consideration. And I like Tua. I believe that he has the ability to be a very good quarterback. I don't know about elite.
Yeah, be nice to Tua Bama up here. Be nice to Tua Bama's up here for sure.
Yeah, I'm a Dolphins fan. Don't play with me.
But let's keep it real. If Tyreek Hill isn't on that team, the Dolphins are getting exposed on offense sometimes, man. And I like Tua, but I'm gonna sit here and just be honest with y'all. If he's not out there making those plays, that team is not nearly the same. And that's why I believe that Tyreek Hill should be in that conversation with him.
He's cooking. I ain't gonna lie, baby. He's spinning with that part.
That's always been before.
Can I ask you about the
He cooked the cold ass ham sandwich. Fuck out of here. You already saw that, bro.
I was expecting you to say that, Bama.
Tyreek Hill is just built to get those numbers, bro. We already saw it with Thompson, bro. Well, Skylar Thompson, bro. Ass. He still had 150 yards, and they still left with an L, man. Tua gives the Dolphins the best ability to win those type of games because
that's so nasty, bro.
You can say it's nasty, but bro, we can say
Skylar Thompson to Tua, G. Skylar Thompson.
But still,
of course you're supposed to starting quarterback on the team.
But what I'm saying is what Tyreek Hill's skill set presents to the NFL, he's going to get those numbers regardless. So
yeah, that has to be taken into account for me, though. That has to be taken into account.
But can I ask you a question?
It don't necessarily lead to the teams winning.
Michael, do you hear?
You got a whole nother part
that's ridiculous.
Michael, when I said when I talked about his Jalen Hurts' cumulative stats, if he reached those, what he's on pace, if everything were to go the way he's played at this point, at this moment, you don't think?
Can you say those stats for me, actually? Because I did not hear him.
Yeah. So I said because this is why I brought it up about the MVP, and this is why I think what might have been missed. Because when I brought it up, I brought up like if the season were to end by by week 17, he's on pace to have these numbers: 4,200 passing yards, 25 passing touchdowns, 586 rushing yards with 15 rushing touchdowns. So a total of 40 touchdowns total in the year.
49.
Is that if 40 TDs and almost 5,000 yards of total offense, is that an MVP case, even if every game didn't look the prettiest? Because I will say this, and I know in some games he's played bad, and I will concede that too, because I don't think every game he's been great. I mean, I'm a Jets fan. I saw what we did to him that night. However,
what y'all do, J-Rock?
We had that boy in a box, man. If we had a different quarterback, man, it would be a different. We have the best defense, but we just don't have.
I agree with that, though. I agree with that on the Jets. I agree with that on the Jets.
You don't have somebody throwing the pill. Go ahead.
To answer your question, that would be crazy for me to say no, because that is stuff that people aren't doing. Now, my thing is with that is he goes in the next 4 games and he balls out, and honestly, if he doesn't ball out, if he just gets the wins and he does what he needs to do, then 100%, I'm gonna give him it. I'm gonna give him it because the combination of the stats. But to me, right now, he's got 15 turnovers. So for us to sit here and say that he is the favorite and he's up, like Tyreek Hill isn't in the consideration, that's my issue. If he goes in and he has 8 to 10 turnovers, and I hate to make it all about stats, but if he's playing like that.
Now, it's gonna matter. It's gonna matter because listen, Damar Hamlin has 1 tackle, and I haven't really fully gotten behind him when it comeback player of the year. So I feel you, bro.
Front runner, man.
Hey, and I love
bro. I love the story, bro. I love the story. I feel like such a jerk even saying that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I love
J-Rob, right? That why you feel that way? The minute he stepped on the field and got that tackle, they sent the award to his crib.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? He's been playing well.
The dude almost died. The dude almost died, J-Rob.
No, I understand.
But they've been gassing.
You can't say that. Don't say that up here, bro. We're not.
Okay. Last week when the Bills player got put in the ambulance, they went right to Darvin Ham, right to Darvin Ham. Get the stretcher out, Darvin Ham on the sideline.
Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin. Yeah, Damar Hamlin.
They went to LA. Hey, Darvin, how do you feel about this, bro?
I feel what you're saying when he almost died, and that's come back. And they just need. I feel like they should make up
that way.
Award.
That's why
I feel like they should make up a award most inspirational.
Yeah, come on,
Breeze Hall.
Me and Bambo's on the front line advocating for this boy to play, bro.
Look, Bama. The fact that you're saying that
narrative
they should make up an award. You're saying that they should make up an award that you feel bad. That's why he's gonna win it. He almost died. And then he was able to come all the way back, step on the field,
and get 1 tackle. Get a tackle. 1 tackle.
I don't feel bad for him. I feel bad for the players that's about to get snuffed out of comeback.
Right? Yeah, me too.
I think
tough, bro.
It's tough.
Because
I just hate this conversation because we're talking about whether a guy who hasn't played necessarily the best deserving an award because he almost died, or somebody who came back from an injury and is playing better. And
how does
when we argue that,
how Tua not get this award?
My thing is, why isn't he playing? They've had so many injuries.
How isn't Tua
he's
the
liability legally?
How?
If he gets hurt again, because a lot of people are gonna be like, "Why did you send him out there and he got hurt again?"
He wasn't dog water last year. They've had.
That's what they're gonna say.
He's not good enough. They have safeties already. He's not good.
No. But also, I'm gonna say this.
He was good though before he got hurt.
Aren't some of their safeties hurt?
Joshua Dobbs.
I don't think so.
This is what I'm gonna say.
I thought their strong safety
not just because of his ability, but he's also a big liability legally. Because if he goes out there and he gets hurt again, the look on the NFL and the look on the Bills is going to be terrible, especially if it's a really bad injury. Why did you send him out there again?
If he wants to go out there, then that's not the Bills' fault.
Me and Bama said let him play. But my only issue is just Tua Tagovailoa is having an MVP-esque season. Joshua Dobbs has completely encapsulated the entire world by the way they've played, and I understand Damar Hamlin's story is crazy, but how could you I think it's almost a little I'm like Bama. I hate talking about this a bit because I feel like a jerk sometimes, but I also am looking like the fairness of it. Like I just feel
unless they legitimately give Damar Hamlin you're the most inspirational award. Like, because this is what you're gonna do to every casual and every voter.
Give him the Walter
let's look at the case.
Yeah, why is he not man of the year? Why can't he be man of the year, bro?
Because now you're fellas. First of all, I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I am riding with you. I'm like, look, like there's so many people who should win the award. Okay, major pause. My God, but this is what I'm gonna say. The fact that let's look at their narratives and let's look at their stats, and then they go over to Damar Hamlin. You'll be like, oh my God, he almost died last year, and you tell me he's an NFL player again? Send the award to his crib.
Yeah, I understand.
Did he win an award already? Did he win one? He won something. No, he was an Oscar.
No, he honored because last year he honored the Bills medical staff for saving his life.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
He did give a lot of money to the city of Cincinnati, a scholarship money too.
Yeah,
so I'm just telling you, like it's his to lose. It's just his to lose because he came all the way back and played again. I understand that he's not how we would like it, but he came all the way back and played.
All right, so let me ask y'all this question. World Peace with another super chat. Houston Deshaun Watson or CJ Stroud?
Deshaun Watson,
man.
Deshaun Watson. We were talking about he was the rival to Patrick.
Don't start this, bro.
Houston Deshaun Watson was a rival to Patrick.
He was arguably number 2.
But recency bias is in a full effect, J-Rob.
100%.
J-Rob,
when you come up here every day and advocate for every player that went to the University of Alabama, you go to bat for them every single time. Say some of the most delusional, outrageous in defense of your players. And now my guy, finally, one of the quarterbacks from the Ohio State University is having the greatest rookie season in the history of this goddamn game.
They finna make
me. Bro, because Bama's still angry about that 2017.
No, Bama, don't do it. Don't do it, Bama.
This is why I can't. Who didn't watch us? CJ Stroud absolutely torture Zay's Bulldogs and want to go with Bryce Young over him. You lost your mind, buddy, and now you're paying for it.
You got him on crutches, J-Rob. You got him on crutches. Get it up.
J-Rob. Bryce Young torched us too. Bryce Young torched us too, bro. He torched us too, bro.
This is what 2000. I'm gonna just show y'all. I'm just really finna show y'all.
Oh god, you gotta bring it all out.
This is dedication right here.
J-Rob, he falls. It's all on you. It's all on you, J-Rob. If he falls,
if he falls, I'm leaving. I'm sorry. If he falls, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. I'm turning the PC off.
I will end the stream. It'd be too much. They would violate him in here. I wouldn't even want my boy to go through that. He's in the stream.
No, but Bama, in all seriousness, I'm a Patriots fan. And I do appreciate Bama, but the quarterback I'm rooting for this weekend is Tommy DeVito. That is my quarterback. That is my Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito.
Baby, we see you.
Hey,
Tommy DeVito is gonna help take my Patriots to the promised land, which is Caleb Williams.
I like Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
Fellas, just look at every Giants fan and say, "Hey, watch Tommy DeVito play."
Tommy DeVito.
From New Jersey, Tommy, baby.
Sorry to Mac Jones, but Tommy DeVito is my quarterback this week.
Sopranos, man.
Boy,
Patriots.
All right. So actually, damn, I keep forgetting tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So first thing I want to say to y'all in the chat, let me say this first to the chat. Have a great Thanksgiving because there's no shows tomorrow or Friday due to the holiday. Black Friday show though.
No great Thanksgiving if you got raisins in your
if you have raisins in your potato salad and all of that.
Yeah, bro. No Thanksgiving.
Have a phenomenal Thanksgiving.
I hope your turkey's overcooked.
But what does Thanksgiving mean, fellas? Thanksgiving means football, baby. And so there are 3 games on this Thursday for Thanksgiving. So we're but it doesn't matter if they're mid or not. We are going to predict and analyze our 3 Thanksgiving games along with our Black Friday special. So with that being said, we'll start off with the slate in timeline order. 12:30 p.m. on Fox. The Packers go to Detroit. Ford Field to take on Jared Edge and the Lions. what is your expectations from this game, and who do you see coming out on top?
I expect a shellacking, and the Lions are winning, and this is why I think so. Because you saw the Lions come in, and they looked very, very uninspired in the beginning of that game against the Bears, and I just believe Dan's gonna get them ready for that game, and they're not gonna come back like that because the reality is you can't lose to these NFC North teams if you're the Lions right now. You need seeding, so I believe they're gonna come in there and they're gonna go up early, and I just think that's how it's gonna be.
Then they're gonna run that ball. I'm with you. I think the Lions should handle the Packers pretty easily. Now Jordan Love has been playing better, but Brandon said in the chat, Aaron Jones is out. That is very bad for the Packers because he was obviously their best offensive player. AJ Dillon just not that good in terms of being a number one running back. So they won't be able to run the ball. The receivers. Shout out Jaden Reed. He's looking like he could be the best receiver on the Packers. And so shout out him because Watson looking like he's not it, and Romeo Doubs just doesn't get enough targets.
Non-existent.
But the Lions should handle this, and it's looking like Jared Goff is getting more comfortable with their deep threat, Jameson Williams. So Amon-Ra cooking, Williams cooking. I don't even know if they play Donovan Peoples-Jones. But that team, and obviously Montgomery's healthy, that team should win pretty easily.
Dan Campbell should be in the running. Well, he's in the running for Coach of the Year. It's Thanksgiving. I expect him to give one of the greatest Thanksgiving speeches we probably ever heard. Run through a wall for that man. Hey, if World War III happens, I want Dan Campbell as my general because I know we gonna make it. I know we gonna make it. So I have him winning 24-10 at least. Might be worse than that, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty substantial win. But I do think Jordan Love's gonna play better than we think.
Listen, man, I'm taking Lions, man.
That's one reason why I'm probably go with the Pack, bro. Because I'm looking at it from a standpoint of if you Jordan Love, bro, you sat the bench for what 3-4 years, bro. You can't continue to go out there and look like you a rookie. Like, I mean, the timetable for him is not the timetable for Bryce and CJ and all these younger quarterbacks. It's like, bro, hopefully they thought they molded you, bro. So it's like, these are the guys you expected to beat. With him, his timetable is sped up. So it's like that first half of the season, we'll spot you that, bro. But now, as y'all saying, that he playing better. So now you got to mimic this over and over and over again because, bro, you sat 4 years. Like, I like what. He's not a rookie. Like, don't think don't address Jordan Love as a rookie. Address him as a 4-year NFL player.
That's how I feel about it at some point.
Like so at the end of the day, it's like we're looking at the Packers right now. So he got to string another good game because he hasn't done that. He hasn't stringed 2 good games together. You sat the bench 4 years behind Aaron Rodgers, and right now you come out how you pause. You come out how you come out, bro, in the beginning of the season, and then it looked like you just lost your power, straight Space Jam. So you had one good game, bro.
Crazy.
Now you had one good. You just reemerged, bro. As it looked like it possibly can be decent and be the reason this team can go back to winning. So we want to see it again. So I'm gonna put the pressure on them and say the Packers, and it's a close one because the Packers have always owned this division, and they should go back. Well, besides the Bears, as of recent, the Packers, but they should go back to dominating, bro. And I feel like Jordan Love shouldn't be that much of a drop off for them to go back to winning. Come on, y'all really think Jared Goff? If Jared Goff is moving y'all that far?
He can play at all this year.
Good. Don't get me wrong, he's good, bro.
I've been speaking on Jared Goff,
bro.
He's hooping, bro. Stop playing with Jared. He's been hooping this year, bro.
Hey, man,
he's had a great year. He's had a great year.
He's having a really good year. I'm not high on Jared Goff, but if David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs are cooking, Jared Goff is going to eat right off of that.
Thank you, bro.
They're going to cook the Packers,
bro. And Jared Goff, and listen, we've seen Jared Goff put together late game drives. He can make throws in order to get you a dub. He ain't one of them quarterbacks that they gotta depend on. They can't depend on his arm to go get them a big play. So I like Jared Goff. I think there was a real reason why he was the number 1 pick of the draft coming out. And I think Jeff Fisher starting his career was an absolute debacle because I think that set him back. But ultimately, I think people have really slept. Very underappreciated. I think he's very underappreciated.
For sure, then.
Here's my thing about Jared Goff, though, Ben.
He's gonna have a 300-yard game tomorrow. Go.
They playing the
Go,
Packers tomorrow?
Jared.
They playing
Go,
the Packers
Jared.
tomorrow?
300.
Are they playing the Packers tomorrow?
300. Yeah, 300.
Unless Jair puts on that cloud, so I'm on wrong. You know what I'm saying?
They got other players, bro.
Jair ain't doing nothing. I'm sorry. Jair not doing nothing. But here's my thing about Jared Goff is that I think, people look too much into what a quarterback is like the first 3 years out, first 5 years out. Like there's quarterbacks that figure it out later. And I'm not saying that you can use that logic for everybody because that doesn't happen that often. But like Jared Goff, like when he had 33 touchdowns and like 12 picks on the Rams with that very good offense when Sean McVay came, he's not the same quarterback he is today.
Oh, now we can't hear you, my boy.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah.
Did you guys already do your scores for that game?
I said 24-10.
I think this is another way to like let because this is what the nation's watching. Ironically, obviously the Lions have just been terrible on Thanksgiving, but hey, we breaking generational curses. And like I said last time we talked about the Lions have not been 8-2 since segregation, and they change it. They are breaking generational curses. And I'm telling you, since segregation, 1962. So I think it's a way to let the Packers know, look, y'all time in the sun, at least for right now, is done. I think it's gonna be it's a divisional game, so I'm not gonna say they're gonna wipe them out, but it's gonna be a very convincing win. They probably win by 14.
They better wipe them out.
So I'm thinking maybe they win 28-14 because Jordan Love, as of right now, Jordan Love, we still got so many questions about him that hey, he get. I think just Detroit's gonna let people know, like we for real, and we letting y'all know we for real.
Facts.
They're one game out for them top spot too, so they got to keep pace with the Eagles too. God, Detroit gets that bye. They're sending the thing to his house, J-Rob. If he gets that bye,
I agree. Yeah. I agree. 100%. I mean, for me, I think the game will be like I think they're gonna pack them up, bro, at home. Damn. I think they'll cover the spread of 8. I do think, to be completely frank with you, if the Lions want to be really taken seriously in the NFC, go out there and punch on the Packers.
Absolutely.
Go out there and establish yourself as one of these top teams in the NFC, because all we talk about ever is the 49ers and the Eagles. If you want to be one of them teams that we talk about, you can put yourself in a position to do that. You go over there and dominate the Packers. So I'm going to go 28-10 Lions, Jared Goff, 300-plus yards, D. Montgomery and Gibbs a touchdown apiece. Amon-Ra over 100. It's going to be one of them days for the boys.
Don't sleep on Jameson Williams, too. Don't sleep on him.
Jameson Williams may get in the box, too. All right, let's move on to game 2. Commanders at AT&T against the Cowboys.
Who said this was a good idea? Who said Dallas Cowboys versus Commanders was a good idea?
My question is this. Are y'all not expecting the Cowboys to play down to them, though?
It's symbolism, dude. It's Thanksgiving, dude. This is why they always play every Thanksgiving.
I swear, this dude trying to get us canceled. I swear.
How am I trying to get this canceled? How am I getting this?
Why'd you turn your camera off there, Bama? Turn your camera back on. Turn your camera back on and say exactly what you said.
What I'm doing is why I don't want to get y'all canceled. What I'm saying is not why we go get canceled. It's the truth.
What you doing?
What are you doing? Actually, don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Jared, what were you saying?
No, I was saying that y'all very much know the Cowboys can play right down to the Commanders and it'll be a dogfight. And will any of you guys be surprised by that?
No, I wouldn't.
You better not lose, I swear to God. Because I know some people want to put the Cowboys back in some conversations about best teams in the NFC. If they lose this game, go ahead, pack it up.
I will say this: the Cowboys do need to go out there and dominate as well. I think they need to win like 24-7. So
we know the Cowboys and Lions get a Thanksgiving game every year. They get a I don't know why they decided this.
Only good against losing teams. Dak is only good against losing teams.
I agree. I agree with that too. Like, and I'm sorry, he didn't.
Hey, Bama,
he was good, but he didn't look as good as he should have been against the Panthers.
Hey, I got the same problem, my brother. Same problem.
Honestly, the person who should probably cook the most is Micah Parsons, because this offensive line is terrible. And how also holds onto the ball. So Micah Parsons should cook on this offensive line. But I do have a quick question for everybody here. It's interesting to me with the Cowboys and everything because people were having certain questions when Trevon Diggs got injured. But the fact that I forget his first name, but Deron Bland is cooking as much as he is. Mm-hmm. Do we think that this says more to the scheme of the Cowboys, or are we saying that Bland is?
Nah, Bland is nice. I'm gonna give it to Bland because obviously I think at the cornerback position, when you play corner, especially like I as somebody who played the position, great corners are guys who can get their hands on footballs. I think there's certain corners who can be decent because they can play a coverage and play in the scheme, but they don't play to lose. You know what I'm saying? They playing not to get beat. DaRon Bland is going out there playing to make plays. And I think that's what makes him great because when you going out there and competing at a high level, that's how you have 4 pick sixes in a season. Like, let's be honest. We've talked a lot about Myles Garrett breaking the sack record. I don't think there's been 4 pick sixes in one season by one player.
I don't think so either.
Or it's tied. It might have been tied or it's broken, but DaRon Bland, quiet as it's kept.
D'Angelo Hall,
quiet as it's kept. DaRon Bland has put together a defensive player of the year like season for the Dallas Cowboys.
Does this say anything about Trayvon Diggs?
No. Here.
Now I can move off Gilmore. And I'm building this thing around Trayvon and Bland. I got 2 corners who are notorious for getting their hands on footballs now. You got 2 ball hawks at corner. Listen, I'm taking that to the bank because the Cowboys have 2 guys that can have them leading the NFL in the turnover margin for the next 2-3 years if they can keep replicating their level of play.
Go watch Trayvon off man.
Special.
Go watch Trayvon off man, bro. Like, don't listen here. That dude is serious, bro. Them little footage y'all be seeing in practice, bro. That was that man trying man to man. He not an in-phase corner, bro. He's something special.
Even Jalen Ramsey said that.
Yeah. He's really something special off man, bro. Like, y'all really need to go watch Trayvon Diggs and off man coverage. It's really something to marvel at, bro. Like,
and this is
DaRon Bland's second year, by the way. So shout out to him, bro.
Come on.
Yeah, man. He's going crazy. I'd like to say one thing about like, is it the system or is it the players? To me, I think Dan Quinn is a great defensive coordinator. Now, I think what sets him apart is his ability to find talent. When you look at the Cowboys right now, they have guys like not only Micah, not only whoever, but they have DeMarcus Lawrence. They have a bunch of rookie linebackers, Overshown, Marquise Bell. When guys have gone injured, these guys have stepping up. So what I think is like there's games where the Cowboys have looked not that good on defense. It gave up a lot of yards. It gave up some drives. And I'm not sitting here taking away from Dan Quinn as defensive corner. But what I will say is I think it is the talent and not the system. I think if you have an average defense with Dan Quinn right now, I think their defense isn't looking that good. I don't think that he's the reason why. Now, I do believe he's putting them in positions to be the most successful, but that's your job as a head coach. I don't think he's elevating these guys' levels of play.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think the scheme works, and I think they're just taking advantage of it. To be quite honest with you, I mean, if I'm, what is he? He said he's in his second year, Riddell.
Second year, yeah.
That's amazing. You know why? Because if you had to pay Trayvon Diggs, you can pay him his bread. You pay him his bag.
I think they already paid him.
Hey, and last year he stepped up too.
Oh, yeah, he was great last year.
Yeah, and like here's the problem. The thing that I'll say about the Cowboys defense is like if they had Trayvon, they would not be like I think a lot of Cowboys fans, they want to say like, oh, there would be no fly zone. Oh, they'd be this. No, they wouldn't be that good, but they would be an elite defense because you have 3 guys that could cover, 2 guys that are great at taking the ball away. And you have a defensive coordinator. You have guys like Micah. And I think now the only problem is on that defense is you don't have a guy that can cover third corner or the third receiver. And what I mean by
Jordan
that
Lewis isn't moving me.
He's garbage. And this is my problem with the Cowboys is that
he just went right to it.
He went right to it.
No. And I'm gonna premise it with this. And like I am a Cowboys fan. I pride myself on not being biased. And you guys will say, oh, Jalen Hurts, like blah blah blah. Like, yeah, I might be a little low on Jalen Hurts, whatever. But I will say this: the Cowboys have a problem with keeping the same damn guys ever. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but every year they keep guys like Jordan Lewis. He's been on this team since 2017, and he has not done anything in the league to deserve another contract. And so you go sign him.
Yeah, we speak about people that just be taking paychecks from.
I'm not mad at them either. They do
it's not their fault. It's not their fault.
The Cowboys do that. every dang year. And you know why? Because they have an inept owner who's in charge of the salaries. And this is why I'll say no elite head coach will ever come to the Cowboys, because when you don't give them the ability to go make the moves that they want to do, then they're not going to come. There's a reason why the Cowboys have gotten puppet after puppet as head coach. And Mike McCarthy is probably the best since like Bill Parcells. That's how bad the coaches have been. But that dude's a puppet in the same exact way. So, I mean, to me, it's just like the Cowboys need to stop. If they really want to win a Super Bowl, they need to stop with this, like, be complacent with the guys on the back end of your roster that you've drafted. You need to go out and you need to be aggressive in getting
Michael,
those.
I personally think y'all need to go get. I personally think y'all need linebackers too. Just one more.
Yeah.
Jack Leonard's available.
And to bring that up, bring that up, you look at a guy like Jalen Smith. He had one good season, and Jalen Smith looked amazing that year. But you knew the injury issues that he had. They knew better than anybody how bad that injury was and how he was playing with drop foot the entire season, how it wasn't going to get any better. So you give them however much money they did, and that totally destroyed their ability to really make a dynamic run in the playoffs, because you're paying a guy $18 million who's garbage. And it's the same thing with Leighton Vander Esch. He's had injury issues his entire career besides his rookie year. When him and Jalen Smith were playing at elite level, he has not been close to like meeting that level of production.
I need a linebacker bad. I think you could go get Shaq Leonard, but I mean, is Shaq Leonard still going to be able to play at a Shaq Leonard level? No. There's a reason why he got cut, and I feel like you don't want to make a lateral move for a name and it doesn't actually work out for you in the big one. Now, do I think Shaq Leonard could definitely help you in the run game? 100%, but I don't think he makes y'all better in the pass defense department. And I think y'all team specifically, y'all need a linebacker that can do both. Personally, I think I need a guy that can fill and run support, but can also be asked to drop and have good enough vision. Like the perfect linebacker for the Cowboys, he plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. Logan Wilson, in terms of his ability to cover and stop the run, I think he's the perfect fit. Like I don't know what his contract situation looks like, but if I'm the Cowboys, that's a linebacker that I'm looking to try to trade for, or if he's going to free agency, I would actually pay the bag to get him, especially if I got to compete with the goddamn Bengals. They're cheap as hell, notoriously cheap. Like, God, for that money, I promise you, the owner was shaking when he signed off on the Joe Burrow contract because they don't like to spend money on nobody. So
and that's why T. Higgins.
That's an off-season.
That's why T. Higgins will not be a Cincinnati Bengal. I agree, he won't be.
But J-Rob, that's like an off-season thing. Do you think they would take Leonard now since he just got cut?
I mean, you could take him now. But
you're gonna wait for him to clear waivers, right?
But you gotta wait for him to clear waivers. But you could take him now. I would definitely. It would not hurt to bring him in.
Yeah, they lost Vander Esch, so they need a body.
It would not hurt to bring him in.
I don't think they're gonna do it.
The body, but I low key think, to be honest, you know what team I think is gonna go all in on him? I think it'll probably be. I low key think it might be one of these other teams that's looking.
No, I agree with you. I don't think the Cowboys go after him, and it's not because he's a good move. It's just because the Cowboys don't do that. They just don't do that. They don't go out and make trades.
To Philly, that's some kind of move Philly would do.
Dude,
they just grab him.
I don't think that's a move for Philly to make either.
I
don't think that's a good move for Philly either, though.
But they would just do it.
And this is the thing.
That's
the reason why the Phillies, or not the Phillies, the Eagles. The reason why the Eagles are up top right now is because they have a GM that's willing to gamble and make moves. Like you look at the Kevin Byard move this year. Is Kevin Byard like a game-changing safety? No, but he needed help in the secondary, and he went out and got a guy that's going to help him. The Cowboys don't do that. The Cowboys sit there and they say, we're going to live and die by the team that we make at the beginning of the season every year. And that's just how it works. And I'm not expecting anything different. So I have no faith in the Cowboys to make a Super Bowl run.
I will say Byard is a really good safety, though.
No, he's.
I like Byard.
No,
I like
really
Byard. I think Byard's pretty good, yo. I'm not gonna lie.
I think he's a good coverage safety. I mean, Travis Kelce talks about it, and the interception against the Chiefs.
Yeah, he baited that. He baited that throw. Yeah, he baited that throw.
Yeah. 100%.
But no, I definitely see what you're saying because I agree with the Howie Smith stuff. Like he's willing to make moves, make deals, and he's creating this crazy roster consistently. Like
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Hey, and
crazy.
we seen the year after them build a crazy roster, it kind of fall apart because they gambled a little too much. But to me, that doesn't matter. He went out, he won the Super Bowl in 2018. He made the moves he needed to make, and then that obviously had to do with Wentz not being the same. But
And then he completely
remember-
rebuilt the team like a couple of years later.
It
to
literally-
make an elite team. Like it's crazy.
Exactly. So to me, he's on top of the game when it comes to being a GM.
So I'm assuming we all are taking the Cowboys to win.
Yeah, I am, but I had some mic issues when you guys were talking about the game specifically. I do believe that the Redskins will play, or I guess the Cowboys will play down. I don't think that's going to be a blowout because I think the past couple games we played the Redskins, we've had a lot of trouble with them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't really see it stopping. There's games where the Cowboys do not show up. And if they don't show up, if it's a close game, they're losing that game. They are because just
facts. We agree. They may not show up.
I've watched every Cowboys game.
I'm going
10 years, and I have
You going Commanders?
I'm going Commanders.
No, hell no.
But Sam Howell, I trust.
I have never seen the Cowboys win a close game ever, not one time. So if it's close, I mean, it could go either way to me.
Okay, I like it. 49ers Seahawks are a primetime game tomorrow.
This is the good one.
I'm gonna keep it a big.
Is Geno playing?
Huh?
Is Geno playing?
I think so. If Geno's playing, bro, I'm taking the Seahawks.
Where's the game?
I don't think Kenneth Walker's playing though.
Kenneth Walker might not be playing.
Charbonnet.
No, he's out, I think.
Yeah, so Zach Charbonnet. 49ers. I'm taking the 49ers. I think the 49ers about to do the business to the Seahawks. But I heard someone talking about this because I was watching this one YouTube channel. The Seahawks' rest of the schedule is brutal.
Oh,
it is.
Jesus. I'm looking at their schedule right
brutal.
now. Oh my God.
So if the Seahawks need to win this game because they can go on a nasty losing streak and they could miss the playoffs.
J-Rob,
so
here's your schedule.
Very important game. Yeah, I'll let Random say the schedule.
So you got 49ers, then at the Cowboys, then at the 49ers again, then the Eagles, and okay, you got the Titans and the Steelers, and then you finish off with the Cardinals. In 4 weeks, their season could be over.
In shambles. It could be in shambles, honestly.
Yeah, and the biggest thing
we're gonna find out.
The biggest thing for me for this game is that the 49ers, as long everybody's healthy, so the 49ers are going to be able to put up points. Brock Purdy is going to be able to dice up this defense. They can't get pressure, and it's not really a good defense. I do like their corners, of course, but based on how the 49ers scheme, they'll be able to get a lot of people open, and obviously their run game will cook. So the Seahawks will have to be able to keep up with the Niners, and his offense is too inconsistent. Zach Charbonnet is cool, but he's not a game breaker like Kenneth Walker. Like he a little like chunk guards here and there, but he's nothing spectacular. And I'll be honest, DK hasn't been really kind of going crazy this year.
I've been trying to tell you about DK for 2 years, bro. I said, yo, he's a great talent. He's not a number one receiver because he is not a route runner.
100%.
You cannot be an elite number one receiver if you cannot run the route tree, and he cannot run the route tree.
If you just ain't got crazy hands for how he play, he just think he gonna out
like you are a great compliment receiver. You can definitely compliment somebody very well.
It seems obvious they want to make JSN their best receiver,
but they know it'll be a problem.
He'll be better in like a T. Higgins type role.
You know what? You know what I think.
Right now.
You know what I think a great comparison to DK Metcalf is, and when I say this name, I think that this name was a lot better than he was, and I think that this name has a lot more athleticism. But when we look at a guy like Dez Bryant and the downside of his career, what was the biggest issue with him is that he could not run the route tree and he could not separate. So, yeah, exactly. Because dude was putting up like 1,600 yard season with 10 touchdowns, like literally running 3 routes the entire season. Nice. So, like, to me, DK doesn't have the same change of direction. I don't think like straight edge speed. I think he's probably faster. Like, I don't know. But to me, like, DK has to work on that. Because if he wants to be a number one receiver in today's NFL, he has to do that.
How many years has he been in the league?
Probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think he'll ever get there. I'm just saying if he.
I don't think so either. There's a reason why Tyler Lockett has been like their guy. It's because DK can't break out. Bro.
Yeah, he
Tyler
can't
Lockett,
get
best receiver.
separation, bro.
Because he
Listen,
can run routes.
Listen, why do you think Jalen Ramsey? You know, the thing that you could do with him is, you know, like Jalen Ramsey, just put your hands on him. Take one of your bigger corners who actually is physical and put your hands on him. And bro, just disrupt his timing. He's not going to shake you out of your boots.
No, and I believe you can take him out the game mentally too. He is so
oh my God,
you being massive and you wanting to impose your will on cornerbacks, go do that. But when you're being petty on the field, bro, like DK, you're 6'3", whatever, how many pounds? Who cares about like?
I'm telling you right now, Michael. If it was me, if I was playing against DK Metcalf, I'm talking to him the whole game about nothing, about absolutely nothing. Like,
hey, and if he hits you,
whisper in his ear, your route is trash.
Hey, he's out the game. That's good for you.
Stone hands, you can't catch.
I'm hitting him with that route was trash, DK. You could do better than that, DK. That block was weak, DK. I'm gonna get him smack me in the helmet, 15-yard penalty. He gonna do it again. Like I'm gonna tackle him, and while he's on the ground, I'm gonna untie his laces. I'm gonna irritate him because I know he'll get himself kicked out. He gets so, and I'm not mad at him for getting emotionally invested, but damn, bro. But you know what, fellas? I'm sorry. There's something that we did not talk about out here, bro. That was so important. You know, out here we gotta advocate for those who are being discriminated against. Those folks out there who are hard and are being oppressed by the man. If y'all ever heard about Jim Irsay, you know, he got arrested for drinking and driving. He got arrested for drinking and driving. And he felt like
a whole other direction.
He felt like the police were harassing him because he's a white billionaire. And they were
such a victim, right?
They're being not because he was drinking and driving. It was clearly inebriated because he's a billionaire and he's white.
Why is he driving? Why are you driving at all?
And screw the part that he's being white. The fact that he said billionaire.
Well, how old is Jim Irsay? He's in his how old is
60s,
this man?
Late 60s, early 70s.
You're 70. You're 70 years old, and you're a billionaire, and you don't have the
64
to not drink and drive. 64. Like, come on, bro.
Life has not been kind to him.
Bro, what a driver! Like Jim Irsay, what a driver at, bro. You don't got no driver. Like
you're a billionaire.
You're a billionaire. You definitely have a limo guy or something. If the league and the people cook Chris Olave for trying to pull that, no, I play for the Saints, right? There's no way,
bro.
Jim.
I own the Colts.
I'm Marcelo Zuna from the Braves.
That's why Andrew Luck left, right there.
You know, I ain't trying to make a joke of you getting in trouble, but gang, like, bro, you got 8 plus 9 figures in your bank account, 10 figures in your bank account, like.
And here's my
dad. There's something you dad can't get caught up on because you dad can afford 10 drivers, bro. Or to be on standby to come get you at any time. So you never ever actually have to get a DUI.
He's worth $4.3 billion. You can't call a limo.
And then bro said, "Nah, bro,
you can get an Uber Black right now."
See, the problem is what they gotta stop doing. They gotta stop interviewing these celebrities after them. They're in their worst moment. Like he probably was still a little drunk and high. Like you could have you could have asked him the day after he sobered up. Like him saying that to me sound like he might have just been a little drunk and pissed off. Like,
and here's the thing:
still had the vodka pouring out of his body, bro.
Here's the thing: when we look at owners and GMs, look at the Jonathan Taylor situation. Like, dude was getting flack this season because he was talking about wanting to be traded. When you have these owners that are just little children and just are so we don't know how these owners are outside of like behind the scenes. Like, I guarantee you, Jim Irsay is insufferable to play for. Like, look at the tweets that he's said in the past 10 years. Like, he's a loser. He is. And I don't even think I don't want to go look it up right now, but I don't even think he really made it. I think he comes from a rich family too, like a silver spoon in his mouth type shit. And to me, I just think we gotta give these owners responsibility. Like we could sit here and we can call a player selfish or immature or this and that for coming out and complaining about their team, but we have to look at the context. You have to look at the context always. To me,
crazy. Michael, you might have to start pulling up. I gotta say the Discord. I gotta say
I'm gonna say this. I'll also say this:
I'm
a
about
lot
to
of
say to
things
you right
people,
now,
you know,
Michael, we need you up here again,
yeah,
bro.
a lot of
Hey,
people also forget. A lot
I'm
of people
down.
also forget when Peyton retired.
No ball, bro.
Think about it. When he retired, he ain't mentioned nothing about the Colts. When he retired,
Nope.
He mentioned nothing about them. Hey, you ain't seen
put the
Andrew
link
Luck
for you in
nowhere
the
near
group chat,
Indianapolis
Mike.
since he retired. You ain't seen him
Dope,
at
and
all.
we're talking
Like,
about a
Hey, you
guy.
remember when they had asked him would you go back and play for the Colts? That boy Andrew Luck said, no, I love my life with my wife and kids. Bro, he like dismissed football.
I'm crying, bro.
Dismissed it.
When they asked him to
Straight
go back
dismissed
because
it.
you remember the Colts struggling with a quarterback. They was like, have you been in talks with the Colts? That boy said, I love my life. I love my wife. We just had a kid. I was like, damn, bro. Like, I was like,
Nah,
really,
if I'm
he really
comfortable,
don't fuck with
bro.
football no
I think
more.
he's like a high
He's
school.
bro.
He's like a high school
I'm gonna
coach
tell
now,
you right
right?
now, Jim Irsay,
Yeah, then he does some stuff for ESPN.
he literally got Andrew
Luck got
Luck
his bag.
sacked so
He's
much that he stole the love out of him from football, bro.
Dude, he ruined a top 15 quarterback talent of all time. And like,
bro, top
Andrew
10
Luck was that
talent all
We
time.
guy,
bro.
bro.
We
He was
watched
that
Andrew Luck
guy.
carry that squad to the
Nah, fact.
AFC Championship, and I'm like, bro, do y'all not want to protect your investment at all?
No, they
hey,
do.
And
that's
look at how he's talking. You see how he's talking about his players publicly. I can only wonder how he's talking about them privately. He's willing to come out and talk
Dude,
to you.
he's like that.
Andrew
I
Luck was one of those
guarantee you
ones.
he's like that Houston owner that got that. I don't know if he sold the team, but you guys know what he said. I'm not about to sit here and say
Was
it,
it
but
the
like,
inmates run the asylum or something?
Yeah,
Like
he still owns the team. But Andrew Luck was one of those ones where like end of the game, like he's gonna give the team a chance to win. Like it was just it was against my team too. Sometimes I was just like, yo, this dude is just him.
Listen, you knew it was real when Andrew Luck was standing on the field watching them boys clang pads and said, "Yeah, y'all boys, it's been real." He took the headset off, said, "Yeah, it's over. I'm it's my last
Also,
time."
I bet money he was the guy that he okayed the league. Because remember, he's walking off the field, then the news comes out that Schefter drops the news that Andrew Luck's going to retire, and they booed him out the stadium. And to this day, you ain't seen Andrew Luck back in Indianapolis. And I've talked to Colts fans. They're like, some people. I know one person who was there, and he's like, "Bro, I can't believe I did that. At the time, I was just mad." But now he ain't never gonna come back. It's like Andrew. Remember, Calvin Johnson ain't been back to Detroit since they took his money and he retired. He ain't been back since. And that's one of your best players ever.
Bro, they destroyed his ankles in Detroit, man. His ankles are cooked, bro. Literally cooked. Bro.
Hey, you had Matt Stafford getting.
Is there
Matt Stafford getting pressured early too, and just being like, "Oh, what am I going to do?"
The game's on Friday because Amazon wanted a game on Friday, so that's why we're getting a Black Friday game.
Right. So what's the Friday game?
So the Friday game is the game of the week. You know, the game of the week. The Dolphins versus Jets. Tim Boyle at quarterback. My former teammate at the University of Connecticut. You know, I just want everybody to know I understand Tim Boyle's college resume does not scream volumes. But Tim Boyle is my guy, my teammate.
Can we give a personal breakdown?
I think he has. I think Tim Boyle has all the capabilities of being more serviceable than Zach Wilson. Just because I at least think Tim Boyle can go up there and get from progression 1 to 2. Now, I hope that's the case, and I leave. You know, I don't have much to say.
You betting the over, J-Rob?
No.
Wait, J-Rob, do you think he's gonna be competent enough to get the ball into Garrett Wilson's hands?
I think he's more confident than Zach Wilson.
Boyle, I love you, Tim. I watched you go out there. I was true freshman, snotty nose. We knocked off the number 6 team in the country at Houston. And I think you'll have that type of impact.
Hey, shout out Tim Boyle.
We'll have
Bama in the shower crying in a fetal position.
All he has to do is look for Garrett Wilson. That's all he has to do.
Well,
and he'll automatically be better than Zach Wilson.
Guys, when in doubt, throw the 17, man. When in doubt, throw the 17.
And J-Rob, FYI, J-Rob, I can't get in that position yet. My I can't bring past 90 degrees.
No, hey, J-Rob, he's going to be in the shower. He's gonna be in the shower with his crutches wrapped up in some plastic bags.
Well, actually, I got this little thing I hold on to.
Oh, my bad. So he's gonna be holding on for dear life.
So who y'all got, man? We got. I think we got to go into the show after this. So I think
I'm gonna go quick. I got the Dolphins. Even though Tim Boyle, all he has to look out for 17. The problem with that is Jalen Ramsey is right there next to 17. So that's gonna be kind of tough for him. Dolphins probably winning this game.
I think just because We trying to make a push for the playoffs still. Aaron Rodgers wants to play, still in December. I think honestly, we put Tyreek Hill in a box. Our defense wins. We win this game like no nonsense. We win this game like 14-7, bro. One of our touchdowns is a pick six or a special teams play. And the other touchdown, we got the ball on good field position. One or two throws, Tim Boyle gets it into the end zone, specifically to Garrett Wilson. And we win the game on the defensive side of the ball. And,
hey, that defense is for real, man. That defense is for real, though. Like, one of the best defenses in the league.
I'm trying to have some sort of faith, bro. Aaron Rodgers seems to have faith, so.
Aaron Rodgers is high, bro.
I will say this. Look, I don't know about Tim Boyle. I haven't seen him play in the NFL, so I know that defense is gonna be nasty. But I just think until I need to see Tim Boyle win that game before I decide to support the Jets.
Duke said,
it's
gonna be 38-14.
I think
Duke, that's OD, Duke. It's OD, Duke.
And if I'm not
mistaken, Duke.
I think the Dolphins win. I think the Dolphins win maybe like 20-7 because I cannot disrespect.
Madden merchant is crazy.
Are y'all gonna watch the new Hard Knocks? Is it the Dolphins, right?
Yes,
it's the Dolphins.
I'm not, but shout out Mike McDaniel, one of the more.
I'm only watching it. I'll run it back though if Treat get that 2000 though. Then we'll watch it.
When bro last, I think it was last year when he was like ripping the vape on the sideline. That's when I was
that was crazy.
That's my guy.
That was hilarious.
Hey, I will say this though. I will say this. Y'all gotta leave. Hey, these fans, y'all gotta leave Nick Sirianni alone, bro. Because every other
I hate
coach,
that guy.
Every other coach be doing the all extra excited stuff when they win football games, and everybody loves it. Dan Campbell has made a career of being overly confident.
Dude,
come
literally
on, let Nick Sirianni have his moment, bro. He's a dog. I like a coach who got a little swag to him. Talk some shit too.
Dan Campbell literally howled in his victory speech, but somehow Nick Sirianni